think we're good. All right, looks like we're, no, it says preview, but I think we're good. All right, we're live. Excellent, excellent. I'm waiting for this thing. Let me close this window so I see where I'm at. All right, so we are playing some original, I wish I had the original books, Dungeons & Dragons, with Chainmail as the combat. Someday I'll hold these up properly. Chainmail as the combat system. So, simple adventure that I wrote 5 minutes ago, no, last night, to kind of test the combat system here. We got 3 players. Essentially, you all are dwarves. That worked out well, I guess. And you're on a bit of a quest for what is called you had heard a prophecy, or it was told in your village or clan or whatever, of this thing called the Throne of Scrolls. Apparently, sitting upon the Throne of Scrolls will grant the sitter, I guess, the person sitting on the scroll, their greatest desire, basically a wish. So you heard, or you read, researched, were told of this prophecy, the Throne of Scrolls to be found where the stars fall from the sky and the river of strength runs red with blood. So you've been looking around and doing research and asking questions, putting out word. You're quite high level adventurers. You've been around. You've got some cash to spare, and what you have discovered or heard is that there is this baron in this land that you're coming into now, who in fact is an astronomer. Baron von Ziege. He's a known astronomer, one who studies the stars, and he has some kind of far-seeing device, a device to see into the sky, called the Eye of the Netherworld. So you believe that using this device, you'll be able to locate where the stars are falling, which is essentially where the throne is. So as we start the adventure, you've been traveling. You're coming into this town, kind of a farming village, maybe a little bit larger than a standard kind of village. It's got numerous kind of wooden houses. Essentially, it's primarily human. You can tell as you kind of approach it, you've come through some farmland, and you can see as you're kind of coming into this town, kind of up on the hill, you see a very large manor, and on it you can see that there's several kind of flat towers, kind of on the edges, which you might infer are where you could stargaze and such. So as we're kind of entering into this town, let's have you guys intro your characters, tell me a little bit about them, and then we'll see where you want to go. So I will go like this, and I will say, Crystal, tell us about your character.
I am playing Rakhatlin. Rakhatlin belongs to clan Mithril Digger, whose symbol she has proudly displayed upon the chest of her armor. It is a anvil with a flame on it, signaling how hot you must have the forge and the anvil in order to be able to work the mithril that is dug from the earth, deep from within the mountains. She is also a proud server of the Dwarven god Maldrick, who is the god of crafts and skill. His symbol is that of a hammer and a sickle that she has proudly displayed in a pendant that holds up her cloak, and also emblazoned upon her shield. She is she's ready for whatever task it is that Maldrick would have her seek out, and she will do this for the honor of her clan, Mithril Digger. That is Rakhatlin, the dwarf.
Nice. So traveling with Rakhatlin is Rush's character.
And I will be playing as Graham Ironbeard, a adventurer who had settled down. Is a member of a minor clan, but as far as size, but a respected clan in deeds, and he's been adventuring for several decades, and decides one last time he's going to leave his hearth with his mate Moina, who is a huntress, tending the hearth as he leaves. He seeks out this throne to wish one wish, not for himself but for her, and he goes forth with his two friends here, seeking this throne of skulls, carrying his normal possessions, including the gifted sword known as Lawthorn, which is engraved with runes, dwarven runes of destruction. His prized possession, next to his second only to his wife. And so he comes and meets Rakitlan, gives him a hearty clap on the shoulder, and without a word begins to get his items together and set forth for this throne. And that would be Graham Ironbeard.
Excellent. So also forming kind of the third corner in the triangle that is this party would be Tony's character.
The bright, flaming red hair that flows from Caitlin Ruby Glint sometimes also mirrors her attitude that she gets from her father, who wanted her to pursue more of the warrior and the forge and weapons. She proudly carries the sword known as Elysian Ascendance that her father made and is engraved with runes of vengeance. But she also carries the brain and the mind and the studies that her mother had growing up, where she spent more time in that. And hearing about the Throne of Scrolls and knowing what it can do, she has her own reason for finding it, if they do, and if it does have the power of it, is foretold of it. Lot would look at her, though, and think maybe she's not as good as Graham or Rocky in the battle, but she'll hold her own if she has to with the sword and the hand axe that she carries. But she wears this bright blue robe and this flowing cloak, but underneath, be forewarned, there is plate armor. That is Caitlin from the clan of Ruby Glint.
Excellent. So heroes all, you, like I say, you've been traveling a bit. You kind of assembled as dwarves do, and you've been traveling around, seeking out information on this throne. Maybe it's taken years, where you go on various small quests, each time picking up more and more information. But you feel that you're getting close at this point as you enter into the town of Glenbrook. You can see that it's, like I say, it's primarily a human town. You do see what appear to be some smaller houses on the outskirts that might be halflings or possibly dwarves. You kind of come in, it's got that kind of main street. It's dirt, it's a dirt street, but it's definitely packed down from much travel with wagons and trades. So this seems like a fairly prosperous area. And kind of sitting as a diamond in the center of town, you see a large 3-story building with a sign marking it as the local inn. It is called, Daniel flipped off the page, the Topaz Fang. It's you can see as you're approaching kind of the center of town, you can see this thing. It's kind of large. Probably in most of the human settlements you've gone to, you've seen that like the largest thing in the center of town is generally some kind of a church or a temple. This is definitely not. I mean, you don't even, let's say, see a temple right away unless you're going to look for one. But what you see is this large 3-story building, which is clearly an inn/tavern. It's flanked on either side by some shops. One of which you actually notice as you're kind of coming down the street. You can see running in and out are some children that are clearly dwarves. You can tell because they're children and they have beards. And it is it's a lamplight. So they're making the lamps. They forge the lamps of iron that go onto the various wagons. And of course, you see some lanterns and stuff hanging there as well. On the other side, there is a vendor of exotic furniture. It seems that they are a human, but they create just like what appears to be, from just looking at it quickly, some very beautiful wooden furniture. And like I say, in the center, you have this like large inn called the Topaz Fang. It's I don't know. Somebody roll a d12 because what time it is.
10.
All right, so it's the evening. It's about 10 o'clock at night as you kind of get into this town. So you've been traveling. There's probably a decent amount of space between the towns, and either because you've been around a long time and you're just not in a rush, or something slowed you down in the way. But when you arrive at this town, it's quite late. So probably this lamplight that you see the children playing that's closed. Maybe they live there as well. You might assume. The tavern is still open. You can hear the bustle inside. And again, like I say, you can see the furniture shop next door. Mostly everything else in town is going to be closed at this point. And of course, up on the hill, you see the large mats that you would imagine is the living space of the Baron, whom you seek. So where would you like to go?
Keithlin will smile as she hears the dwarven children laugh and play. She will say, it reminds me of when I was a child and used to throw boulders with my brothers and pretend that we would play goblins and dwarves. They always made me the goblin, of course, being the younger sibling and all.
Those children should be in the bed. It is too late for those children to be up. They need to be in their studies and their books in the morning. I'm going to speak with them and see if their parents know where they are. And Caitlin's going to approach those children.
Okay, sure. Yeah, you walk over, and of course they see you. You would imagine maybe by the reaction that there's not a whole lot of dwarves around here. So they kind of pause for a second, and they see you, and they there's 3 of them. They kind of look at you and they say, "Ooh, you must be a great warrior," because they can see that you're armed with a sword, and they just kind of stand and look at you from the distance.
Caitlin crosses both of her arms and she looks at him and she goes, "Well, I am skilled in those arts, but I am mainly skilled in the arts of books and studies and things, and those help with you more than anything else. But I was always in the bed asleep at this time of night. What are you dear children doing out this late?"
Well, we're just, well, my mother she just has to work late because she has a big project, so we couldn't sleep because it's kind of loud. And then at that point, you start to hear like some hammering coming from inside the shop.
Well, what is your mother working on?
Oh, she's creating some special lamps for the black carriage of the Baron.
Oh, that would be a very special project. See this large inn and tavern over here. It's usually topazes are very pretty, but the topaz fang, will it bite me?
They laugh. Oh, you're funny. No, definitely not. The topaz fang is the thing that everybody comes to this village to see. It's very nice inside. Very nice.
Well, you children behave now and don't stay out too late, even though your mother is working. And maybe we shall come and visit her shop tomorrow when it is open.
Okay, that would be great. Oh, okay, yeah, we'll stay right around here, and they kind of scurry back to the porch where they were. Um,
Are there any shops open at this time? Like, I mean, like pastries or anything like that, or is it mostly a human settlement?
no, everything's basically closed from what you can tell. From the size of everything, you know, like the size of the buildings and stuff, it looks like it's probably primarily human. Like I said, as you were coming in, some of the farms looked a little like maybe halflings or something with some of the smaller structures, but in here, everything looks to be larger size. It could also just be because for trade, it's better to have the taller buildings, but nothing seems to be open except for the tavern. I mean, it's late, and it's kind of an overcast night too, so it's very like dark out, and everything seems very stark. So you can really see like the brightness of the tavern and the lamp shop, and then of course the manse up on the hill. You saw that from a distance, but as you kind of were looking around the landscape, it's all pretty dark here.
All right. Rockothlin will step up to the kids as they're like, starting to scurry away a little bit, and she'll say, don't worry about Caitlin there. She was raised on the surface, she doesn't understand what it's like to not know the difference between day or night. Anyway, why don't you kids share this uh, whenever the shop's open again, and she's gonna hand the kids a gold piece.
Oh wow! Oh yeah, they'll take it. Wow! Thank you so much. You're very nice.
Yeah. So now you stay out of trouble. You don't and learn to make something glorious for Maldrick.
We will.
And then Rockofflin will go back to her friends.
Okay.
Are you two done playing nursemaid with other people's children? I need a drink.
The children did say that this topaz fang is known quite around, and most people come here for it. So lead the way, Gray Man.
He just immediately looks around, starts looking around for a. You said it was like 10 o'clock at night, right?
Yeah.
And I missed, what exactly is the Topaz Fang again?
It's an inn/tavern.
Oh, okay.
The first floor is like a tavern. You can see it's got large like picture windows. You can see inside. It's not super crowded, but there's a decent amount of people in there. You can see there's maybe a dozen or so tables, half of which are occupied. People are eating food. You can smell the smell of mutton and pork, sausages and stuff like that. You can smell, of course, you see people drinking ale and having a good time. You can hear music. And of course, if you kind of look through the window and you can see to the back, you see there are some stairs going up it's a 3-story building. So you would imagine that the top floor has got some rooms.
Smelling the sausage, he kind of just rubs his tummy a little bit and grunts one time. He's just like, mm. And then he just kind of walks through the door and goes to find a table.
Awesome. Yeah, so you guys,
door size tables and chairs.
no, I mean all the tables and stuff are the same size, but you do notice that most of the stools have kind of like a step, like an extra rung on the side, so you could easily step into it. You see that a lot in the human settlements where you could get up into the table pretty easily. You won't have to like struggle to get into it like awkwardly. And you actually see this dwarf in here, of all things. He's sitting at the bar with his back to you, but you can tell that he's a dwarf. But if you just go in and get a table, you immediately are approached by an older human who introduced herself as Rytha. And she says, oh, coming to town awful late. Apparently you weren't part of a caravan, I guess so. I'm Rytha.
I'm Greyhead. These are my traveling companions, Caitlin and the one I like to call Rack. And no caravan and short legs do not carry one fast. But we come to see, or at least I come to see, if you folk know how to properly cook sausage and pork and make a proper mug of ale. So a plate and a mug, if you would, please.
Excellent choice. Would you like peas or artichokes with your roasted sausage?
Artichokes are hearty. I'll take those.
Okay. She looks at the other.
I have the same, but do you have mushrooms?
Yes.
Take
You like
mushrooms, then.
Caitlin crosses her arms and says, "Please, I would like a plate of all of the vegetables and things."
Okay. Would you like any spelt bread?
Of course, if you have honey and butter.
And we do. And she heads back. She actually goes back behind the bar, and you see her talk to a younger woman, who then goes into the kitchen, and shortly after, food is being brought out to you, and tankards of ale. Like I said, there's maybe a dozen people in here. There's a dwarf that's at the bar. You can see some people that look like they might be traveling, like you are. And do I say that because they have like sacks and backpacks like at their feet? And then everybody else here doesn't seem to be there. There is a halfling as well, which probably stands out. She is dressed quite fine, and is being attended by 3 humans. She has a big feather hat, and she's drinking some sherry from a small glass.
What's the ale like?
Well, I mean, your dwarf said they immediately assumed you'd want stout, so it's a thick stout.
Yeah, I mean, sorry, is it like human ale, or is it like, like, I mean, is it good quality for a dwarf?
It's good quality. Yeah, I don't know what your standards are, but this is not the fanciest inn you've ever been to, but it's not a dump either. So it's decent. It's worth the 10 copper pieces or whatever it's going to cost. It's not a 3 gold piece cup of ale, that's for sure.
All right, sounds good.
Caitlin takes her plate as soon as it gets there, and she takes the fork and just scrapes the sausages off on the Graham's plate. And she's noticing the halfling, and she goes, "Oh, that little halfling over there. I wonder what she's done to." It appears the way she's dressed that she's had some good business propositions or engagements over the years. That is very fancy dress for a little halfling. She says that to Rocky and Graham.
Yeah. Seems pretty foppish. But, they're peculiar little folk. And really, you should try some of these sausages. It'll put some more meat on your bones.
No.
Live off vegetables alone.
Well, I can't sleep well at night if I get too full on meat like that.
For being such a tough dwarf, Caitlin, you sure are a boiled potato.
Did my father tell you to say that?
Fights like
Simple observation.
Fights like a dwarf, eats like an elf. What can you say? He kind of smirks and goes to eating the sausages.
Yeah, the food is good. Like I say, this isn't a fancy, and you've been around, so you've probably spent hundreds of gold on amazing dinners in your time, and also probably eaten, cold soup and salty water. So this is somewhere, between there, closer to the good, but not too close to the bad. But it's not tremendously expensive either. The ale flows freely. Rytha comes back periodically to check on you.
Yeah, when she
Um,
comes back, Caitlin's going to ask her about the halfling, if she knows the
Huh?
halfling and all that, what she knows about her.
Oh yeah, she does. She tells you. She says, "Oh, that is Annette. She is some kind of aristocrat. Um, she's been staying here for a couple of weeks now. She came in a very big fancy carriage with horses, which they're being meticulously kept in the back. And for someone who appears to seem to have so much money, she's not a very good tipper."
Well, do you know what she's here from? Is she on business trip or maybe with the lantern smith across the street or?
Kind of looks at you. She says, "It seems to me that she's been cursed by the gods. She's constantly speaking of it."
I see. She'll probably be needing someone to help her out with that curse then.
Well, we heard a story on the road while we were traveling about something about a throne that if you find the throne that you can set up on it and curses will be taken away. Do you know anything about that?
Throne. I mean, there's many ways to remove curses. I'm not very learned, though, but there's no throne around here. The Baron sits upon a very nice chair when he does his meetings with the village, but I wouldn't call it a throne.
Well, I was going to say if the halfling could find it, or we could help the halfling find it, maybe she could befall herself of this curse.
Well, that is quite kind of you.
Well, if the halfling is here and she is seeking the throne, that must put some validation to what we heard then, huh?
If
Oh, did you hear something?
look, she means the story that Ruby Glenn's already told you.
Oh,
Perhaps the halfling heard the same story, and that's why she's here. I mean, it's all speculation at this point. Could be the ale, who knows?
Indeed.
could be.
Well, Caitlin, you're always the most charming of us three. How about you make some introductions for us?
So,
Well, yes, let me finish my plate of food first.
is the waitress still there?
Oh yeah, yeah. If you even make a sign like you want to talk to her, she immediately comes right back.
No.
Do you need rooms?
Probably, but we'll settle that in a few. I wish to talk with my friends here for a moment, if you don't mind.
Oh, okay. I will get you some fresh ale. She picks up the empty glasses and walks away.
I look over at the other two. I said, "Did you happen to notice the dwarfkin sitting at the bar as well?"
I figured that it must be the father of the children we saw.
Curious.
Well, you should go and speak to him, Gray. It seems that maybe he indulges in the mug like you do. So maybe you two could share something. And myself and Joaquin will go talk to this halfling.
Why the hell not? So
If you want me to join you, sure, Caitlin.
Well, yes, let's go speak to the halfling. I mean, it'd be, all females.
Sounds good.
Okay. And you're gonna go talk to the dwarf at the bar.
yeah,
Grayman?
I'll wait till she brings me a mug, and I'll ask for another. I said,
Okay.
when she brings me the second one, I'll walk over and I'll just set one down in front of him and just kind of, pat him on the shoulder one time and say, noticed you were the only other of our kin that I've seen in this place, so please accept my hospitality.
Yeah. Yes, you pat him on the shoulder and says, he turns to you. He looks to be I mean, he's not super young, but he's definitely on the younger side. He's got dark black hair. His eyes are very bright though as he turns towards you. He's wearing actually spectacles, which are these big, thick iron rims. He's you kind of, now that you're close to him, you can see that he's got a hat that's kind of stained and beat up and sitting on his lap. And you can see in front of him, like by his feet, is some kind of a bag. You can see his clothes are kind of a little bit dirty, not like he's a bum, but like he's been traveling probably. And he looks at you and he says, "Oh, it's good to see another dwarf. The shop next door is also owned by a dwarf, though there's not many in these parts. I'm Rimmery. Please sit."
I'll sit, introduce myself as Graham, and I say, indeed, not many in these parts at all, which is why when I see one sitting at the bar all by himself, I felt obliged to come and say hello and have a drink with kinfolk.
Okay. Yeah. So, he starts to drink the drink with you. Cut over to the table with the halfling now. You guys move over to the table. You can see, like I said, there's 3 human servants kind of attending to this woman. As you kind of come over, they kind of step aside, and she looks up at you and she says, "Oh, I haven't seen you in town."
Well, we are just travelers on the road. We just arrived this evening, just a short while ago. I am Caitlin of the clan of Ruby Glint, and my friend here is from the clan of Mithril Digger. We understand that you've been traveling too and stayed here.
Yes. I like to see the world, and sometimes it's wise to go on the road when things at home are getting a little stale. And really, what's the point of having things if you can't go around and visit and see new people?
Oh, yes, it appears that you would have some dwarven heart in you also then to have for the adventure to go out on. That is good.
Oh, yes. I am Annette. Please, sit. And she kind of looks kind of sternly at the women, the humans, and they like quickly grab chairs and I bring them over for you. She's got it like a bottle of wine, and they quickly produces some like fine like wine glasses, and the humans pour it for you.
Oh, yes, we'll definitely try it. It may not be to our liking, but we will try that.
Oh, yes. This is very, very good wine. It's was made some 10 years ago in the vineyards that grew behind the house that I grew up on. I like to always take some with me when I travel.
Where we were encountered a gentleman on the road that had told us a story about some type of throne, some legend of a throne. That if you're able to sit upon the throne, it takes away any curses or maladies or things, or maybe will honor some type of gift to you if you are lucky enough. Have you heard of stories like that during your travels?
Oh, that would be very, very, very good. No, don't we all have something we'd like to get rid of?
Oh, of course. Yes, of course.
Yeah. I was She looks around as if anybody's listening to her, but nobody is, besides you, of course. She says, "I have always heard that time helps remove any problems, so I thought spending time away would be the most appropriate tact. But to sit upon a throne and have your maladies removed, that would be quite a gift."
And you just travel with your 3 servants? You have no entourage of guards or anything? Yeah, I mean, it's pardon me for saying, but you're very finely dressed.
Oh, well, thank you. No, no. We only travel the main roads, not haunted by brigands. Occasionally, I'll hire a guard to transport us through more dangerous aspects, but we do okay. You're not brigands, are you? You don't look like brigands.
Well, I've thought about it once, but no, it doesn't pay enough.
Yes, yes. Yes, dwarves are far too industrious to be brigands. It's always the humans that want things quick.
Well, that is true. They are, a lot of them are very selfish and self centered.
Yes, yes.
And Caitlin will look over towards Raki and see if what kind of conversation she'd want to make with her.
Rocky is trying to drink the wine, and she puts it down and tries not to make a face. And she, she's just kind of listening a little bit, trying to figure out maybe what the halfling's aim is.
Okay. So back at the bar, maybe you're on your second mug, and he'll buy a mug, and you guys are going back and forth drinking a little bit. He tells you, I must warn you, as you are quite kind to me, that there are rumors of those who walk from the grave in these parts. They say that on the full moons, fish are found floating in the river, and it runs with blood. I've come here because my daughter was abducted by cultists. I believe that they may be looking to induct her into their terrible religion of the death.
How long ago did this happen?
2 weeks ago, she went missing. I followed her trail to this area. Well, not specifically this town, but further past. There is a lake. This is where the river flows from. I'm waiting to see. As I said, we've heard these rumors, and the full moon is tomorrow.
Did you see this water turn into blood?
No, well, I did not, but I heard, and it should happen after the full moon. Yes. So I predict either tomorrow or within 3 days. I'm not sure if it's when the full moon's full or like right after the full moon. You know how legends are. It's a little unclear.
So dead walking, and your daughter was kidnapped, which, by the way, my deepest condolences for that. You know, I came here with friends searching for a place where they say that the water runs as blood and stars fall, and where they meet, I will find what I seek.
Huh.
It seems that you have already found where the waters run red. Can you show me where, or provide me with a map or something that shows me where these waters would run?
Yes, of course. I could show you now if you'd like. It's right up outside of town.
Okay. I've traveled here with two women. One of them in particular seems to take interest in other people's children. Not, not in a, keeping them safe and making sure that yeah, she's got a motherly air about her, despite the fact that she'll smash your head in something good. I'm sure that it will not be difficult to get them to, while we go look for the place that we seek, try and find, perhaps we will find your daughter as well. Perhaps we will find them in the same place. And if we do,
Would be in debt.
come to the table. I will wave them over, and you can explain to them what you have told me.
Okay. Yeah, he'll come with you.
Yeah, and then on the way over there, I don't know if they're done talking with the halfling or not, but I'll just kind of look over at them, and I'll just be like wave, and I'll just be like, point to the table like this. With the
That's a dwarf. Obvious.
yeah. Right here.
No subtlety with dwarves.
It'll be obvious that I'm calling the other dwarves back over to the table. That's all.
I'm just all right. Yeah.
While he's having that conversation, Rockland will say to this halfling real fast, as my friend Caitlin was saying, for being such a well-polished gem, you seem to be staying in a place below your standards. Are you trying to hide from something?
This is the finest inn for 3 days' travel. So I've heard. If you know of something better, let me know.
I believe my friend has left her vision back at home because, yes, this is a very most astute, wonderful looking place here. Rocky, I believe maybe you were speaking of the last place we stayed at.
Yeah, maybe the ale's getting to me, or the wine.
Well, we thank you for your time and your patronage and for the drink. And if you want to need anything while we're here, we will see if we can assist you. Our friend is calling us back over, though. He probably wants to buy us another round of the starter stuff now.
Yes, it was excellent to speak with you. And she kind of does like a big, like over the top, like kind of bow with her hat. And as soon as you guys step down from the chairs, her attendants like move them away from her table so there's no other chairs there, and they can stand there, to take care of anything that she needs. Yeah.
Yeah. Rockland will go back with Caitlin.
I don't remember what did you say the guy's name was again?
Rimry.
Rimry. So as Rack and them come up to the table, I'll say, come, sit. This is one of our kin, Rimry. He has a. Yeah, well, you do need to keep your nose. He's got an interesting story. It seems that he says that there's been instances here and abouts, and he kind of lowers his voice a little bit. Instances here and abouts where supposedly the the dead walk at night, and fish from the waters rise up dead and float. And there's a spot where the water runs red with blood. As you two would remember, the place that we seek has water that runs as blood and the stars fall, and it is where they meet. So he says he can draw a map of where the place where this water runs red as blood. Perhaps we can find the place that we seek, and if we're lucky, perhaps run across his little wee dwarf and bring her home. What do you think?
What clan do you hail from, kinsman?
Mm,
So he will tell you that he's actually he lives among the humans. Yeah, he works primarily as a servant for at a human village, about 2 days ride. There's not a whole lot of dwarves around. He was, he's got a wife basically, and 2 other children, and then of course the one that's missing, and him, and those are really the only dwarves in the area. He had struck out to to try to create his own clan, but was not particularly successful as of yet.
And where did you hear this story of the river of blood that you've spoken of to our friend here?
Well, it's interesting because I heard of it some months back. I was doing some cleaning at my employer's residence when a group of scholars were visiting and discussing various ancient books of omens and prophecies. This is where I heard. Then, when my daughter went missing, and I did a little research, asked around, it seems that other women have gone missing from this general area. So I put, 2 and 2 together, as we dwarves do.
Was your daughter taken, or did your daughter leave of her own free will?
I believe that she left after being ensorcelled, some kind of magic. She would not have left on her own, but believe she did.
Well, we'll recover your daughter. But in return, your house will join Clan Mithril Digger, and you will make our clan stronger.
Yikes.
Well, I'm not sure that I can make that decision. Obviously, I have to ask my wife. But that sounds like a good opportunity. If I learned one thing in my 600 years of being alive, you should never make a decision like that without asking the wife first.
Of course.
Well, maybe it would be best that you, instead of drawing a map, you could come with us and show us this place that you speak of in person.
Yes, I could show you. It's right outside of town, where I believe that the river will flow. It shall be, maybe tomorrow or within a few days, because as the rumor goes, it is the full moon that brings upon it the death and the rising of the dead.
Sounds good.
Indeed.
Okay.
Have
Yeah, I
you?
mean, if you want to, go ahead.
I was going to say, I would look at Rimmer and say, my friend, have you sword or axe?
He does. He has like a hand axe. He taps it. He says, yes, of course, I'm armed. As always, This act was given to me by my father when I was just a boy.
I have a weapon like that too. Perhaps you should let your wife know that you will be setting out, so that she will not sit and worry and think that the same that happened to your daughter has happened to you as well.
Yeah, his wife. He explains that his wife is back. Like, he didn't take the wife with him. He came by himself. She's in the town 2 days away.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. He left his wife and his other 2 children.
Oh, all right. We'll scratch that.
Yeah, he's been traveling by himself.
Mhm.
Sorry if that wasn't clear.
So the full
But yeah,
moon,
he
so the full moon is tomorrow then.
that's correct. That's what he heard, anyways. It's cloudy, so you can't really see it. But as far as you know, I mean, that would probably line up with your basic knowledge of
If
you've been seeing the sky, you've been traveling for days, so
if this blood water flows at the full moon or beyond, I see no reason to risk spending a night out, especially if the dead walk, as you say. If it's right outside of town, we can simply leave in the morning, and we'll have plenty of time to search and look about before nightfall. I say we get a good night's rest. That would be my.
Yes. I'm definitely in agreement with that.
yeah, he doesn't disagree. He already has a room here, so if you do that, I mean, if there's nothing else you want to do tonight, you guys can get rooms. There's they're individual rooms you can get. I mean, they're nice. Again, this is not the nicest place you ever stayed, but it's not junk either. The rooms lock and they've got beds, and you can certainly get a good night's rest. And as I said, he has a room. He's actually staying in more like a common room, which is why he had his bag with him. But you guys, since you have money, probably you could stay in nicer rooms and feel more secure. So you do that, and night passes, morning comes, and because he's in the common room, he's basically just down there when you come down, because he's got to get up. So you see him downstairs. He's eating some sausage.
I'll join him. I'll mention to Caitlin. I'll be like, all right, you've got a full day in front of you. You can actually eat sausage now, for you're not going to bed anytime soon. Sausage.
Yes. I will have some on my plate this morning.
I think I'll have some pork chop myself.
Okay. Yeah, they've got stewed pork with barley biscuits,
Oh shit!
10 cop pieces.
That's what I'm gonna have.
I changed my mind.
All right, sounds good to me. Yeah. So you guys eat up. It's the morning, so it's basically just the reheated food they cooked yesterday, but with an egg on top of it. That's basically it's breakfast. So yeah, you guys are able to eat and head out. You see, of course, by the time you get going, that the shops next to the place are open. You can see the streets are busy with people. It's a pretty, active town, even in the morning. They're setting up the various shops are setting up wares, on the porches in front, basically. And he leads you through the town, kind of up towards that hill where you see the manse of the Baron. And instead of going like up the hill, you kind of go around it a bit, and you can actually see that on the other side, coming at night, you didn't really see it. There's a relatively large river that kind of flows. It seems to flow like, you got the hill that the Baron's house is on. It kind of flows like around the hill, and then but it goes up behind it essentially. He kind of points it out. You can see at this river too that there's people set up for fishing. It's a pretty wide river. You wouldn't. It's not super deep. You wouldn't imagine, but it's deep enough that there's like boats in it. Like small boats, and people fish and gather their water. There's areas that kind of portioned off so that they can scoop water up for various tasks, and you see servants coming back and forth. And you can actually see it does seem like you would imagine a river like this, like so close to town, that you see people come and get like a bucket of water and go back. But you see people with like wagons, like hand carts, like filling like multiple buckets of water. and loading them on carts.
Hey, before we continue, Daniel, I wanted to say I don't know how well our companion, or the one that's leading us here, I don't know how well he was doing on money, but I would have bought his breakfast if he couldn't.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't show any sign of not having any money. I mean, he would pay for it unless you offer. If you offer, he'll definitely take it.
Yeah,
but
do it.
But he doesn't.
His
Yeah,
house
he
is
goes
going to
to pay
join my
with
clan and all. So
Anyone wants to ask him about if he knows anything about why the people are getting such large amounts of water from this river.
No, he says, "Well, I've been here a few days, and this is the first time I've seen this." Yeah, he says usually they're just getting a little bit of water. Just kind of strange, huh? Maybe it's
there's
wash
truth maybe there's truth to the rumors you've heard. Let's ask some of the locals around here.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'd stop a guy who had a cart real quick and
Okay.
I'd ask him. I'd say, "My friend, it it appears the townsfolk are bound and determined to drain the river dry this morning. Is the water that crisp and refreshing, or is there a perhaps a giant pot of soup that is to be made today, or what is the story here?"
So he says, "Well, clearly you've not heard. There's a giant who lives upon the mountain, and once a month, upon the full moon, he washes himself in the river. And it does not take well with the fish nor with me to drink water that's been in a giant's,
Say no more.
let's say, yes."
Say no more. My kin do not get along well with the giant folk.
Yes.
You've not hired someone to take care of this problem? I mean, why does your village just keep letting the giant come down every month?
He's a giant.
Well, the giant is quite fearsome. This is like an older guy. I mean, to a dwarf, he's not old, obviously, but he says, this giant has been washing himself since I was a child and before. I don't know. I don't know why they don't send somebody. Perhaps they should. Brilliant.
Well, it is. I mean, it's. But I guess if he comes once a month, it's better than once a week.
Yes. Well, this is the best time of the month as well, because all the villages here are collecting water, and this is often how we arrange for marriages. You can see, and he starts pointing out at people. You can clearly see families like introducing themselves to each other, and like, this is my daughter, and there you can see they're like,
Turn
in fact,
good.
Go ahead.
So foul into a joyous occasion. I like that. Gonna have to find a reason to have to stop drinking water and have a weddings or grand parties. Indeed, lots of drink. So
yes.
good for you for not cowering.
Yes. Also, no, go ahead, Crystal.
You said this giant comes down about once a month. Is that around the time of the full moon always?
Yes. Well, he has to be able to see to make sure he gets all the spots clean, I would imagine.
Hmm. True.
Indeed.
It's it's a good. He says it used to be when I was a young man, you could wait a little bit longer to get married, but now they're marrying off the girls younger and younger, because the Baron seems to be constantly looking for young girls to work in his manor, and they never come back to get married. And you must carry on the family name.
Yes, indeed. Hmm. This giant, do you know which, well, if he's, which direction this giant lives?
Well, they say that he lives upon the mountain and washes himself in the lake up there.
Oh, then it flows down from the mountain. See. I look,
Yes.
I look over at Remry and I go, same place?
What did you say? I'm sorry.
I look over at Remry.
Yeah.
And I go, same place?
Right. This is where I've heard the river is red. Right here. I mean, it could be red further up as well. I'm not sure. I wouldn't venture up the mountain to battle a giant alone.
Well, there are three of us.
Yeah, 44
Well.
odds for that bastard.
I don't know. I don't know how tough giants are.
Well, now,
Guess we'll
Well,
find.
I mean, not as tough as 3 dwarves, obviously.
four, right? Because you got this guy.
Yeah.
But he was alone before.
Hmm.
Yeah, he doesn't think that the giant took his daughter, though. He thinks that the undead cult took her. So that's why he hasn't.
Well, it sounds like we'll be heading up the river. So wait a minute. He said right here was where it turns red. So the place where they're gathering the water. This is the place that's just outside of town?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought we were still like just right at the town's edge. Okay.
Yeah, it's like the town's like here, and then like up on the hill you've got like the manor. But if you instead of walking to the manor, if you went like around it, the river's on that side. It kind of like wraps around.
I got you.
Yeah, so it's pretty close. I mean, it's 500 yards from the town proper. Yeah, I mean, he tells you that they didn't. Obviously he didn't explore further. He just heard that all this dead was coming to life in this area. So this is why he came here. He didn't explore further up. He actually didn't know about the giant until just now.
Well, I would look over at the group and I'd say, wow. While our kind have no love loss for the giant kin, and while I do find them to be filthy creatures, I don't think they're so filthy that bathing in the river would kill the fish. I say we travel up the river anyway. There's a source of this, and while the giant may play a part, I do not believe he plays the only part.
Yes, I think that there's truth in both stories here.
Well, we can always travel up the river today during the day and make it back here in time for the night in case the blood of the river does come.
When the blood comes, that may be when we find the cultists doing their dark ritual or whatever. So I say we shall, as the humans like to say it, play it by ear. Regardless, we waste time by this river.
Okay. So you want to go upriver?
That's Graham's vote.
Yep.
Yeah, Caitlin will follow.
Definitely, yeah. Upriver.
Cool. All right. Rimmery's going to stay here. It's not that he's afraid of giants, but he thinks this is where he's going to find more information about his daughter. So unless you really have a convincing argument to have him go, he's gonna stay here and keep his ears to the ground, so to speak.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, keep my future house safe. That's fine.
He's already married.
Yeah.
You're playing the game really aggressive here. Good. All right, anyways, it's funny. So you guys had a river. You can do that. You obviously have gear. You've been traveling, so you're set up to do that. And the river is quite large, so it's easy just to follow it. You go up. It's beyond the fields. So you've got this like large, mansion, and then you've got this hill, and the river wraps around it. It's basically like grassy. I mean, it's not like they mow the lawn, but it's like grassy fields for a bit, following back for a couple of miles with a slow and steady incline. And then it starts to break out into more forested, area. Not heavily, because it's obviously on the side of a mountain. So it's and you follow the river. It gets deeper and more narrow as you kind of make your way up. And of course, it's running more rapidly.
I mean, could we like buy like a boat or something from in town and go up the river in a boat?
It'd be really hard if you're going upriver.
Yeah, if you want to go back down and ask them, you probably could get like a rowboat, but it would be a heck of a lot of work going up the river, and you're probably not sure how far up you'll be able to take it, because the river does get pretty narrow as it goes further up. But you could certainly try if you'd rather take a boat. That is 100%.
No, that's fine. No, we'll continue on foot for now, I guess. Like, how deep is it getting for us dwarves?
Well, you're not in it.
Well, the shoreline, surely.
Okay.
Yeah, you're walking out the side. You can see it's getting deeper. The it's not tremendously deep, but it's where it was like 30 foot across and maybe like 3 or 4 foot deep at the very mild part where people were like walking in and getting water. Now it's getting to be like 10 foot wide, maybe like 6 feet, 7 feet deep. From what you can tell. It's been cut. You can tell. I mean, your dwarves. You can tell that this is very much cut. It's not like it's a. It's not like there's a lot of dirt. It's like cut into the rock. So there's like clearly this thing's been running for a long, long time, and it's cut its way into almost like a canyon, but very small so far. Someday it might be the Grand Canyon. Who knows, right? Yeah. But in any case, somebody roll a d6.
I'll do it. 4.
4. Oh, interesting. Okay. This is interesting. So you're walking up the river and you're looking to see how deep it is, and you see something in the river that looks unusual. It seems to be sitting on the bottom. The river's relatively clear because it's like a river going off a mountain, but it's fairly rapid, so it's hard to make out perfect detail. But you can see there's something down there just below the surface there. You're kind of staring at it. It looks like there's a statue. It looks to be made of silver. And it seems to be in the river. Like it's like just standing there in the river, and it's like maybe like a foot of water over its head. It seems to be a human, in far as size and stature. It's hard to make out exactly what they're doing, but they seem to be standing there in some kind of an odd pose, and they are, they're not wearing a helmet or anything, so you can see like a face and that kind of thing. Yeah, right in the middle of the river.
How far away from the edge of the?
Maybe like 4 or 5 feet.
Oh. So is the water running really fast here?
It's running fairly fast, If you were to jump in, it would pull you for sure. You'd have to swim against it to be able to stay not. Although you're probably wearing plate mail. You're all wearing plate arms. Just to quick to the bottom.
I'm going to walk out there about 5 deep and then just like bend over and stick my face in the water and open my eyes and see if I can catch a better of it.
Yeah. Okay, you do that. That's awesome. All right, yeah. So you get in the water and splat. You put your dive deep on dwarf. So you go like a foot into the water. Stick your face and your beard's like running down the thing, and you open your eyes. It definitely looks like a man. He seems to be, like, for a human anyway, seems to be fairly attractive and cut, like thin and kind of a noble face. It's weird because it's hard to say, but when you first open your eyes, you think that it winks at you. And then you kind of go like this, and it's just a statue. But it does seem to be smiling.
So I relay that back to the other two, including the part where I say, you're going to laugh at me, but it's early and I haven't been drinking yet. But I could have swore It winked at me when I had my face under the water.
I believe both you and Rocky, when y'all get back home, are going to have your vision checked.
I think Graham should have just had a better drink this morning.
My vision is fine, woman. Fetch me a rope.
Yeah, I'll throw a rope out to you.
Hold on a second. I want to make sure. Nope. Okay. I want to see if I can. He said he's got one hand up.
Yeah, he's got one hand up. Well, it's not above his head because his head's only a foot under the water. He's like this.
Oh, like hi. Okay.
Like, hey.
So I'm going to try and get over to him if I can without being swept away, and see if I can throw a loop around him.
All right. Yeah, you can do that.
Get back
I mean, you're pretty strong, and you end up getting it at least waist deep in the water. But you're fairly heavy, especially with armor on, so you're not going to get washed away, and you're very strong. So, yeah, you could loop around like his hand or around his hand. I guess what you're going to do.
Yep.
Pull the rope top.
and get back to.
You got to try to pull him out.
Yep, I'm just gonna grab that thing and I'm just gonna like try and yank it as hard as I can, pull it, see if I can pull that thing out of the water.
Yeah, it's pretty heavy, but between the three of you, assuming everybody else helps, maybe if you wrap it around a tree to get a leverage on it, you start to. At first, it's really hard at first. Maybe it's partially buried in the soil or whatever. But at a certain point, you're all pulling, and you can feel it go, and it like slips, and then you're able to kind of pull and drag it out. And sure enough, you get it to shore. It doesn't have to come very far. You get it to shore, and it is what appears to be a youngish, not a boy, but like a youngish man. He's like in this pose. He's dressed in what probably appear to be finery. He's got that'd be awesome actually. But this statue is made out of silver. I mean, you're dwarves, you can tell it is made out of solid silver, and it's quite big. It's almost like it's probably like almost 6 foot tall. So yeah, there's a hell of a lot of silver there.
Mm.
Someone left a perfectly good silver statue at the bottom of the river.
Seems an odd thing to lose at this point in the river, wouldn't you think? Also, not very hard to retrieve.
Does it have any like on the base? Are there any names or anything written on it?
No, in fact, it doesn't have like a standard plinth on the base. It's literally just feet. As you're kind of examining it and discussing it, Caitlin, you kind of just happen to look, and it looks like you can see the face almost looks like it distorts slightly, and like it makes like a bigger smile, and then locks back. So it's kind of like it's like this, and then it's like.
Yep, she doesn't say a word.
Yeah, it doesn't. So there's no name on it or anything. So if it was attached to something, it broke off when you pulled it up. It was just got feet.
Well, maybe we should just set it back up right here on the shore, and if it's the village knows something about it, we can inform them this evening.
And if they don't know anything about it, we can sell it to them.
Why do you always worry about business? I mean, we have our own mission of what we're after now. That is more important than making more money than
No, no one said we weren't going to take care of our business, but if we can pull home several hundred pounds worth of silver when it's all said and done, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that either.
You got to remember, she was raised on the surface.
You hear a voice. It says, "And silver is valuable in other ways."
I thought we were about to hear a toad.
No, that sounds like a man's voice.
So of course, Graham's going to start looking around and guessing that he's not going to see anyone.
Yeah. You look around for a bit. Nothing. Nobody seems to be around. You're alone. I mean, besides the three of you, obviously. Two other people.
Well, maybe the voice that has spoken to us can introduce himself. We will introduce ourselves too.
When you say that, the statue turns and like sits, so it's cross-legged on the ground, kind of has his arm crossed, and he's kind of looking up at you, and he says, "Finally, someone who has some manners. I am Lord Silvertongue. I know it's a little bit on the nose."
Well, I am Caitlin of Ruby Glint. I'll let my companions introduce myself before we continue the discussion, I guess.
I am Rocklin of the clan Mithril Digger. Though my companions here call me Rocky or Rack. So, I'm used to responding to just about anything, Silvertongue.
I am called Graham.
But
And
you may ask me three. No, there's three of you. That doesn't seem to make sense. You may ask me three questions since you rescued me from the river.
Let me think on this just a moment.
I'm going to turn to the other two and say, one thing we should definitely ask is whether it will actually answer truthfully or what information it may know.
Well, how are you going to discern if the answers it gives is truthful, my friend?
True.
Caitlin will turn back towards the statue and say, well, the question I have is, can you tell me where to find the throne of scrolls?
Yes, I can tell you that.
I knew that. I knew it. I knew it was going to happen.
Gotta waste one.
he looks over at Ruby and he just kind of like nudges her in the arm and he's like, "That's what books will get you."
Yeah.
He looks at the silver tongue and he goes, "I'm the one who pulled you out of the river. Tell me where I can find the throne of skulls."
Those are two statements. I could answer two questions. You made a statement. That wasn't a statement to question.
Where is the Throne of Skulls?
Well, the throne of skulls is found where the stars fall from the sky.
I'm going to sit down. I'm going to walk right up to him and I'm going to start drawing in the dirt. As best I can, I'm going to draw like the river and the mountain and all this stuff. And I'm going to look at him and I'm going to say precisely where do the stars fall from the sky on this map?
I cannot answer that question because they do not on that map. So since I could not answer it, you can ask another.
It's true. They do not fall on that map.
Using the map as a guide, precisely where on the map would the stars fall as it corresponds to this area?
He looks at it.
Do I have a high enough wisdom to be pulling off this bullshit, by the way?
I don't know, whatever, it doesn't matter. It's OD&D, it's player skill.
I'm a little
Yeah.
slightly above average. I think I'm good.
Yeah. He looks at it, and he looks at the river.
I mean, we're level 6.
Yeah.
We've probably been through this shit before.
Yeah. He stands up and he walks over to a tree, and he breaks off a small piece of branch. He walks back over to your drawing. He kind of lays it across the river and breaks it again. And then very meticulously, he starts laying it down end to end. And you see him go off. He starts walking off into the woods where he's going. And then, eventually, he stops. He sticks a stick in the ground and he says, right there.
I look at the other two and I go, well, that's not very helpful.
I mean, we know it's way downriver, right?
We can't ask him.
I mean, somebody in your group is super smart. Right?
Yeah, I got a 17 intelligence.
Yeah, you could roll 46 under your intelligence to see like which might be able to.
Oh my gosh, I rolled 3 1s and a 6. So yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I mean, you think that what he did was because you've probably seen people do this before, cartographers. He basically figured the scale of the map as was drawn, and created a distance, that is equal to that in the proper direction. So taking that, you probably could backwards translate it if you took the time to do it. You'd have to measure the river and then measure how far away that is, and then do the. But you could use this as a way to figure out where it is.
Yeah,
And it's not anywhere near here. It's many days travel, and it's not up the river at all.
that was my point.
I mean, assuming he's telling the truth. And by the way, after he kind of he does this, and you're kind of talking for a second. Next thing you know, you look and he's just gone.
Look back
Maybe
to the
we
river.
should
There are a couple
all-
of bubbles. Bloop, 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 bloop.
Maybe we should all have our eyes examined when we return.
No, I think you're the only one who didn't believe. And now you do. Don't try to back out of it now, Red.
She was raised on the surface. Gotta remember that, Graham.
Becoming more and more obvious. So obviously, the stars that fall do not fall on the river.
Well,
Perhaps
I
you
guess
understand where the river is blood, and then you just look in the direction. I usually just stab things, and I'm good at it.
well, perhaps we should continue up the mountain and be rid this giant. I could slay a giant today. I'm in a giant slaying mood.
Well, I am totally against that. I mean, if the giant has been coming and washing himself for years in the river, and the townsfolk are okay with it, and that is not my battle.
It would seem that it would ruin their tradition of celebrating of nuptials. Never a good thing. I'm at a loss here, ladies.
Well, we can just go back to the Topaz thing and have lunch and wait till nightfall and go to the river where all the people were and see what happens.
Perhaps Renry has found out more information than we have. I don't know that I would tell anyone about the silver man in the water.
Why not? Makes for an interesting tale. Might get us a few ale.
You might want to wait till they've already had a few ales before you tell them.
Exactly.
I'm a myrmidon. I've seen things way stranger than this. Let me tell you.
Yes, you are. All right, yeah. So you guys travel back to town, I guess, and get. You go back to the inn. You know, there's food to be had. Remery is there. You know, he's thereabouts. You know, you probably encounter him in the town. He tells you that, nothing super exciting has happened that you know of, that he knows of. That 4 young women are being called to the Baron's manor tonight. Other than that, so they're like having like a send off, and you can see that happening. And then he says that 12 people got engaged, and of course there's tons of water.
Rockland is finishing up the story as they walk back into the town and everything, saying, you know, and then the devil jumped up on a hickory stump and says to our bard, I bet a fiddle in gold against your soul, you'll think I'm better than you. I'm telling you, it was crazy. Much crazier than the silver guy in the river.
If you really look at you, a little bit of gold, that sounds amazing.
Was amazing.
Well, did the bard
the
win?
Bard totally won. Bard played the most awesome song I'd ever heard. Not musically inclined myself, so I can't replicate that.
Yes, I've heard dwarven music before. Oh, I know. No offense. Just kind of a semi-drunk human.
It is strictly for dwarves. Songs of
Yes,
and such.
Yeah, makes sense.
It's much better to listen to a dwarf play the bagpipes than a fiddle.
Or drums. Drums are my favorite.
Well, perhaps you can play some music for us at the festivities tonight. 4 of the village girls will be taking residence with the Baron to serve him, and 12 engagements happened. Yes, our monthly water hall is always something to see here. We're going to bust out the salted mutton and curd cheese.
But wait, did you say 4 of the engaged ladies would be serving the Baron this evening?
No. Once you're engaged, the Baron will not have you. These girls were, they were not. There was no arrangement to be made for them, and thus found themselves available for the Baron.
I see. And I look over at the others and I say, apparently it's really good to be a king around here. So be it.
All right. Yeah.
So I guess we'll go back to the Topaz Fang. I'm assuming that can be this where the center of the festivities.
Exactly. Yeah, they basically pretty early in the day. Probably earlier than you would normally think for a town to do when they do their sales and stuff in the street. They kind of fold up shop, and you see that they're like stringing up like flowers and stuff in the street and making like a festive thing, and people are bringing tables out, and they're gonna party. So you can hang out, rest, do whatever you want throughout the day. Is there anything in particular you guys want to do?
Aiden wants to go see the lamp maker the dwarven lamp maker.
Okay, sure. Her name is Ildag. The shop is it almost looks like a blacksmith shop actually when you go in there. It's got a front area, with the kind of a counter that you shouldn't go past, obviously, with some stuff on it, and behind that they've got the forge, and she's making it makes fine iron lamps, and they also blow the glass there. She actually is. When you come in, you can actually see she's training one of the small children you talked to last night in glass blowing. And she sees you. She come in and she says to the child, "Make sure you keep it moving so it doesn't, fall into the fire." And then she stands up and walks up to you and she says, "Oh, it's always good to see a kinsman in town. I am Ildag, the lamp maker." She kind of walks up and gets up on a stool, so she's like at the right end for the thing. And of course, there's a space for you to get up to. So you're both like on stairs, so you can see each other.
Rather than just being on the floor and talking to each other.
Right, because there'll be a thing between you.
Caitlin crosses her arms and says, "Yes, I've met your children last evening when we arrived in town. Very charming and adept children. What a wonderful business you have here. They told me you were making a special project you were working on for the Baron and all, and what a wonderful trade you were teaching these children. Just wonderful. I understand there's some type of festival this evening or something."
Oh yes, whenever the engagements happen, usually on the when the moon is full, and and the giant washes themselves, the humans collect all this water and they seem to get married. It's good business for me then, though. Many of them like to for their new residences to it's tradition here to have a beautiful lamp made of blown glass. So yes, I am happy.
Are these lamps? They're good quality, I'm assuming.
I make the finest lamps in the realm.
Thank
you for asking.
Sorry, Rockland will say yes. Maldrick smiles upon your craftsmanship. I might purchase one of these lanterns for myself, actually. And I'm looking at the lanterns.
Yeah, they're beautifully made. They're iron, and they have this instead of just the standard that skinny, easily breakable glass that you get in the normal lanterns, they've got this thick blown glass. That seems like it'd be very rugged.
Well, we heard the story from one of the humans about the giant that comes down from the hill, but I would rather hear it from one of our kinsmen. What do you know of the giant?
She kind of looks at you. She says, "Yes, there's no giant." Do you think that I would live here if there was a giant?
Well, of course not. I knew the humans,
yes.
Them and their stories.
Yes. So I believe there's some kind of necromancer or something lurking about who's tainted the land. Not sure if they're still around or not because, there do seem to be a lot of young girls that go missing. It's hard to keep track of these humans. They breed so quickly.
It would seem all these engagements they have.
Yes. You would think one child every 100 years like we do would be enough. But no, they've got to pop them out every couple of years.
Well, I'll tell you something else that happened strange to me and my companions today. We were taking in the sights of the river, and we could have swore that we saw a statue in the middle of the river. Have you ever heard of a tale of a statue stuck in the middle of the river?
Statue?
Yes.
She smiles a little bit and she says, yes. Did it wink at you?
Not me, but one of my companions.
Yes. That is the fey creature, Lord Silvertongue. Sometimes he's a statue. Sometimes he's a bird. Sometimes a rock. He plays his games of riddles with those who travel to the land. Harmless, though.
I didn't say you think he is a harmless one. He would not be behind this disappearances of the young women.
Oh, no. Well, I mean, you never know with the Fae, but I don't believe so.
What about the Lord who seems to like to keep the young women for himself around here?
Well, you've just described every human lord that I've ever met.
Well, sure.
He keeps to himself. Good client. He likes his carriages to have very, very, very dark windows. So I'm constantly, at least once a year, he gets a new carriage made. He's making one now. He travels a lot in the depths of night, blackened windows of glass. But the carriages themselves, he likes to be lit brightly as they travel through the evening. I assume to keep away the wolves that sometimes haunt the area.
Interesting. Well, I think I'm gonna purchase one of these lamps. It would make Meldrick happy.
Okay.
What clan do you hail from?
Oh, we are of the Surface Dwellers. We are our own clan.
See.
Well,
Yes.
keep your children in the books. That's where they will learn the most.
Yes, I believe you are correct. In this world above the ground, the book learning is much more important than for those who dwell below, harvesting the iron.
Caitlin turns and looks at Rocky and gives her a wink, much like the silver guy did. Gives her a wink and says, "Ah, yes."
Okay. I mean, I don't know what else to say.
Well, I guess we
Okay.
will wait
We'll cut
and
to
see
the-
what this transpires into tonight. This celebration. We thank you for this, and I have no need for a lamp, but I may get you to blow something of glass before we leave this village in a day or two.
I would be honored. Yeah, if you want to get a lantern, I mean, don't worry about it. You have plenty of money, obviously, even though I didn't give you any money on your character sheet. You could definitely get one. They're basically the equivalent of kind of like a bullseye lantern.
I think I already have a lantern, but I'll just say the lantern I have is one I just bought.
Okay, so yeah, because she doesn't want you to trade in your crappy old lantern. She only has good lanterns. But it's like a thick
I'll give her
glass.
my crappy old lantern so she can break it down and turn it into a good lantern.
Yeah, she doesn't want that crappy tin. Keep that yourself.
Yeah,
She
no, I don't
doesn't
blame
want.
her.
She want to get rid of your trash.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
blame
you
her.
can get a fine lantern. Yeah. Yeah. So you guys hang out in town again. Things are getting more exciting.
Fine
Um,
lantern.
Yeah, when
They
we find
are,
Graham, Caitlin's going to go up to Graham and cross her arms and look him in the eye and go, "It would seem that we let a Fae best us earlier today. The Silver Lord is some type of Fae creature that lives in that area, and he got the best of us. But I believe, from what I understand, he is very harmless. He is not behind any of this."
Well, Fey creatures get the best of the many. That's what they do. That's what they're best at. So
And
Well said.
it's an experience we learned, and we just go on.
yes.
Yeah. So the day progresses. It's still kind of like it doesn't rain or anything, but it's very kind of overcast the entire day. A little cool. It's coming into the fall or whatever. But the sun goes down, and lanterns are lit, and festivities start. Everybody comes. There's dancing and drinking, and several hours like after it starts, maybe it's like 8 p.m. or something. You actually hear murmurs that the Baron is coming. So people start to it's good, whatever. And the girls that he's going to take as his apprentice servants or whatever are brought forth, in these like white gowns, and you hear the sound of horses coming down the way, and a large carriage is being pulled by these huge stallions. And kind of as the lamp maker described to you, this is it's like a dark wood carriage with very dark windows. There's a man, on top riding the horse part. But there's these like very beautiful, elaborate lamps that and they're like they're on all four corners, and they're like I say, these lanterns are almost like bullseye lanterns. They're almost like these like beams of light, like shooting forward, almost like what could be car headlights. But of course, it's nothing like you've ever seen before. As it comes down, so you basically see this like silhouette of this beautiful carriage pull up, and the man that was driving the cart jumps down and opens up the door, flips a little stair down, and out comes a very, very finely dressed human. He's got dark hair. He's kind of tall and thin, dressed in just beautiful fine clothes, a cloak over his shoulders. He's got gloves on, all the fanciness, gold medallion around his neck, a hat. Why not, right? And he steps out, and people kind of gather around. And he says, my subjects, I see you have prepared for the giant's bathing. Because he's looking at the launch. That is fine. We must learn to live with what is around us and let nature take its course. That way we can continue to live in peace. I see that there are some young maidens who find themselves without a husband. As your baron, I will take it upon myself to shelter these young ladies until they can find a better future. Everybody's kind of listening and whatever, and then he kind of like does his hand, and then you can see that the four women, they like walk and they get into the carriage, and he says, he sees the lamp maker there, and he says, I look forward to your creation for this year. This carriage has been splendid, but I've got to stay with the times. I've heard the Baron 5 villages over has a carriage twice as large. And then he starts laughing. He says, not to worry, though. We have the finest lamps. And then he kind of like gets back in the carriage, and the guy jumps on top and makes a circle around. And
while the girls are being loaded in, Graham wants to see if he can just kind of peer and notice if they have any kind of, like, how do the girls look? Do they look like they're like really happy that they're going? Do they look like they're depressed that they're going?
I would say that you would probably pick up that they look a little bit unsure, maybe nervous. Young girls being taken away from their homes for the first time.
Okay. But they don't appear to be frightened.
Well, I mean, they're going on their own. Nobody's prodding them.
Okay.
But you can see that they look uncertain.
As he rides off, I would look over at Caitlin and Rack and just kind of lean forward, and I would say that for a town that is celebrating engagements, this felt more like a sacrifice than it did a celebration.
Well, for one thing, the Baron seems to be very astute and sure of himself with his speech.
Yes, but well, I guess you guys didn't tell me about the conversation you had. He definitely We now know why there has been no one sent to slay this giant, because he seems quite content with things being just as they are, and while the engagements that come of it can definitely not to be looked at as a bad thing, this thing he does with the young ladies who are not picked, it just seems odd, even for humans. I don't trust the man.
Well, he did come across as a little pompous. Agree. He is in a place of power. You never trust people in a place of power, especially humans.
I just don't understand why he has to look after the women until they find better futures, or were their parents not doing a good enough job? Back in the mountain where we come from, well, I mean, he motions over at Rack and he says, you until you were able to go off and support yourself, you stayed in the hearth with your mother and father. I mean, hell, I stayed in the hearth with my mother and father until I was ready to take up sword. Humans typically do the same thing. It's just strange.
Okay, at that, maybe this is a good time to take a 5-minute break. Give 5-10 minutes, bio break,
All right.
get a drink.
What?
Nicole, you've been drinking all night.
Good.
Characters have been drinking all night, but not the players. Yeah. It'll take a few minutes.
All right, I'm back.
Okay, just waiting on Rush.
All right. I hope I didn't miss anything. Honestly, I ate real good tonight, and now my
It's okay. You didn't miss anything.
food is settling, and
Okay. Nice.
kind of
Yeah. No, we haven't done anything. Rush is gone. I don't
dozing
want you to
out.
broadcast
I
to the
mean-
world about your dietary habits, Crystal.
Oh, sorry. I
Okay,
thought we were
good.
muted.
No. No. No, we're running it straight into Zoom this time. So
There's Graham.
oh, there he is. All right. We don't have our little private wall to talk behind like we usually have. Sorry. All right. Anyways, we're back. What was going on? Right. The Baron is super, super nice. And you guys are trying to find the Throne Scrolls.
What
Is that
about
what you
our
guys did?
dwarf? This for the missing daughter. Did he have any reaction during the little ceremony deal?
Well, yeah. I mean, he was looking around, of course, to see if there was any sign of these. If you meet back up with him, he'll tell you that he suspects that his daughter was taken by this cult, and so he's on the lookout to see if they're going to try to take anybody tonight. But from what he can tell, nobody was taken. Just everybody seems to be happy with their appointed.
What about the little halfling woman? Did she come out for this or not?
She did. Yeah, she's there. She's kind of off by herself, with her people attending to her. Every once in a while, she'll talk to somebody, but she doesn't seem to be overly interested or not. But she's definitely she's out there. You could tell that she was, if you were watching her, she was checking out the Baron. Probably maybe envious of his cart. Yeah. So yeah. So what do you guys want to do? So you want to go to the river, right, to see if it changes? That was the plan.
Well,
That's still the plan.
I look at the others and say we have three things we can do. We can go to the river where Remry was talking about, and when it changes, see what we see. We can head back up the river again to see if we see anything there, or I don't know. Something is off with this Baron. But we can, the other option would be head for the mountain and see if we know why, see if we can deal with this giant.
Oh, well, Graham, I'm sorry of it. I did not tell you earlier in the day when we spoke with the good lady Hildig from the lamp maker shop. The giant deal is nothing but a story and a rumor. There is no giant.
Oh, she's the other dwarfkin, yes?
Yes. So that's just a story that has been passed down. There is really no actual giant here.
What does she believe turns the river red then?
Well, we did not really go into that. I mean, we got distracted by Archie wanted to purchase a lamp and the children playing around.
And she said something about she believed necromancer living around here. But the really interesting part is that she also has no clan. All these dwarves around here with no clans. What's up?
Well, they're surface dwellers. What do you expect?
Yeah, well,
As you're so
no dwarven pride.
pointing out.
But yes, I say we go back to the origin of the river we were taken to this morning by our friend and see what transpires there. I think would be best. That's my opinion also, Graham.
So we can look for this giant / necromancer. If she believes it to be a story, then I'm inclined to believe that she would know what she speaks of. A necromancer in the area does not bode well either. But yes, the river where Pembry was talking about, that would certainly be the shortest and easiest trip. So perhaps that is the best idea.
Okay. So you're going to head over to the river where you were earlier, where they were getting the water?
Yeah, might as well.
All right.
But I don't want to sit out like in the what time of day is it at this point?
It's about, well, I mean, that whole thing started, it's maybe like 9 o'clock at night.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So I don't want to sit like right out in the open, where I can be easily seen. I don't want to kind of like find up underneath a tree where I'd be shaded from what would probably be bright moonlight.
Yeah, it's actually quite overcast still.
Okay.
And where the river is, and kind of going back anywhere near the town or further up until you get to a little bit further up the river, is basically this like tall grass. You could probably lay on the ground in the grass if you want to be hidden from sight, but there's not really too many trees unless you want to be further back from the river, or if you want to go up the river further, where you met the silver statue.
I don't want to be too far. Don't want to be too far back, and don't want to be near any more silver statues.
No, I don't know why we hide. Let's just, stay. Any undead come, we'll just kill them flat. Make them dead again.
It's not just the undead, my friend. There's also these cultists.
We'll kill them too.
Yes, but I'd rather them not know exactly where I am when they come. Catch them by surprise,
Yeah. I mean, you definitely could find, very tall grass and get inside of it.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
That's, you just have to be low. You would, you just crunch down or whatever, maybe lay down or be on your knees or whatever. Yeah, you guys get out there. Rimmery will also go because, of course, he wants confirmation that this is actually a true thing. He does believe that because of the undead cultist, the undead cult that he believes took his daughter, he thinks they're connected. So, yeah, you all head out. And like I said, I mean, it is a full moon. So when it's breaking, it's fairly bright, but it's also very overcast. So it's a pretty dim night as you kind of make your way out there. Luckily, dwarves see well even when it's dark out, so you don't need any torch or anything to maneuver outside. That's for sure. So you get over into the river area where they was getting the water earlier, but further back, further away from that area with this tall grass, and you kind of nuzzle down and wait. I'm assuming you're just gonna wait until something happens. So around midnight, you at first you could smell it. Before you even see anything, you get this stench of fish, like rotted fish. But first you get the stench of like just blood. Like if you go like to a dock where they're cutting out fish that just brought in from the shore, that has that kind of like coppery, bloody smell in the air. You get that first. And then you start to smell what smells like kind of a rot in the air. The wind is just slightly blowing. It seems to be coming from further up the river, and obviously that's where the fish are coming from. As you see them start to move their way down the river, you can actually see floating in the river what look to be chunks and parts, fins, torn open bodies with the guts coming out of various fish as they kind of make their way down the river. You guys gonna stay hidden?
Well, I'm sorry. Do we see any people?
Not yet. Not from where you are. I mean, you're watching that part of the river, right? So you see the fish and stuff come. I mean, if you want to move closer to the river and look up or down the river, you could do that. But from where you are, you don't see anybody now.
Yeah, I guess I'll take a walk down there.
Okay. Yeah, it's pretty dark, so, as noted, dwarves see well at night. So you start moving towards the river, and you're looking up, and you get that stench, which strikes you as strange because even with the fish being kind of torn open and stuff, they shouldn't smell like they're decaying so quickly. So you definitely get that foul odor in your lungs, and I mean, as a experienced adventurer, this is not natural. As you look down the river, or up the river as it would be, you see, it's hard to make out how many, but you would gather 20 or so look like humans. They seem to be gathered on either side of the shore, and some of them are in the water, and they're reaching in and making a mess. You can hear the splashing a little bit, and you hear them just ravenously like tearing at the flesh of the fish as they're flapping and the stuff in the water.
Did the other two come over there to where I'm at?
I mean, yeah, if you would have been moving up, I would have too. I would have moved with you.
Yeah.
Well, I would look at the two of them and say, this is no, and point down there and say, there you see, this is not the work of a bathing giant. His stench may have killed the fish, but it would not have caused them to rot so quickly. I'm afraid that our lamp-making kinsman was correct. This is surely the work of a necromancer.
Well, let's go kill them.
Yeah, they're about 80-ish yards up the river. They don't seem to have noticed you yet, because I'm assuming you're crouching really low and you're dwarfs, obviously, and you're not very big. It's dark.
Do we have to cross water to get to them, or are they?
Well, to get to all of them, you would, but there's some on your side. Where they are, the water's not tremendously deep. They seem to be kind of like, it's almost like they came from the shore and they're like spread out. Some are on either side, some are in the water. But on your side, there's like 8 or so that are on that side of the shore, and then the rest are scattered about.
Maybe we should let them do what they do and then follow them back to whatever place they hide.
Yes, and that may be where we find our other dwarven friend's daughter.
We could find many things there.
Including treasure.
With this throne. Well, I look up in the sky and I say, the moon does not shine. Despite it being full, it does not shine through the clouds. We have the darkness.
And we use it to our advantage.
Ladies,
Follow them back to where they hide.
if that is what you ladies think is best, and that is what Graham will do.
Yes, I think it is a wise choice.
All right. Rimmery will, do whatever you do, because clearly he doesn't. You guys are the experienced adventurers. He's just like a guy. So you wait. Maybe you go back into the bush a little bit to make sure that you're definitely not going to be seen. And after maybe half an hour, it doesn't seem like it's that long. You actually hear what kind of sounds like a wolf. In that kind of like howly sound, but it feels kind of off. And they all kind of look up at the sky, and then they turn and they start heading back towards. As you follow them, you realize that you get that mansion, and the it's on top, it's on this hill, and the river goes behind it. They're coming back around, and there's like what looks to be, as you get closer to it, it looks like there was a small graveyard there that's mostly overgrown. But there's still like one kind of like solid like stone building that's kind of dug into the side of the hill, and there's a door on it, and they all go to the door, and you hear the door close.
Well, They decided to go underground and make it easy for us.
Yeah. Also, with all the observation that you did, you realize pretty easily, or you can put two and two together, that these people, these humans, whatever they are at this point, are all women, and they are all dressed in now torn and dirty but white gowns.
So I look at the other two and I say, all women wearing white gowns. And I point at both of them with this like look, and I'm like, I told you I did not trust that Baron. He's behind this.
Well, you very well could be right. I guess we just follow through and see where that door leads.
Long shanked bastard.
And before we leave, we'll kill the Baron too. Just to be safe.
Yes, we go in and we kill everything we see.
It would appear that Rocky played that game as a child, Murder Hobo, just a little bit too much.
That was one of my favorites.
Well, I mean, I have to admit, these women are of the undead, and it is.
Need to be put to rest.
Yeah, she took the words from me. They deserve to be put to where they belong. You know, they're to be released. Hell, their souls probably no longer even exist, and the bodies are just husks kept alive by dark magics.
For the Baron to do who knows what to.
Oh,
Okay, so what's your plan? Are you going to follow them to that door, or do you want to make some other kind of try to entry into the place, or leave and make a plan, or what's your deal? It's probably like 1 a.m. Like I said, it's overcast, so you can see pretty good, being dwarves.
I mean, Rakif would be fine with just headed to the door and trying to go in, because I mean, if they're underground, then that's our domain.
we can look and see if there's another way to get in as we go up there, but it seems that the obvious front door approach is probably going to be the way to go this time.
Well, this will be the back door, right? Because you can go
right.
to the front of the mansion, of course. This is basically dug into the hill at the back of the manor. I mean, it's the front door in the sense that, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, they didn't walk in the, yeah.
No, I didn't realize it was at the base of the manor. I got you.
Oh, yeah. It's at the base of the manor. The manor's on top of this hill. And, to get to it normally, like where the carriage came was to the front. But where you are is behind it. And there's like a crumbled graveyard and a thing that goes into the hill that's behind the manor anyways.
He starts grumbling as he walks over to it, talking about how right in the back of the damn manor, too. This evil right under their noses, mumbling the whole way. So he's rightly aggravated at this point.
I agree with Rocky. We just go through the door and face whatever we find straight on.
Oh, we're talking.
Okay. You can definitely do that. Yeah, you move up to the door that they came through. It is a heavy set iron door. It appears to be like closed from the inside. You can try to force it open, of course, if you want to get through it. But it's locked, obviously, from the inside. You can just sort of try to push it open. It's
Graham's going to
there's three of you.
And start getting ready to do the door open.
Yeah,
Graham was exceptionally ripped, even by a dwarven standard.
Yeah, you could have a roll d6, a 4 and 6 chance with 18 strength. That's for sure.
4 and 6. I got a 4, so I made it.
Nice. Yeah. So you were going to open it no matter what, but if you had failed, you would have made a lot of noise. So you're able to and it just kind of breaks off the rusty hand, the rusty lock. It breaks, and you push it open. And you can see it's dark in there. There is some filtered night sky kind of coming in, as noted, I've said a couple times, dwarves can see well in the dark, but they can't. They don't have infravision in this. They can just see well. So it's still dark, but you can make out that this seems to be there's like a main chamber here that looks like it with like a. You probably have bodies lying on either side, like two slabs basically, and then in the back of it, it looks like the wall's been collapsed down, and there's like a tunnel going into the dirt, going deeper into the space.
All right.
I peer into that.
I'm gonna pull up my my shield onto my arm.
If I peer in the tunnel, can I see down it at all?
Yeah, like I said, it's pretty dark, but you can you can make out. Hold on, I'm taking my copy.
Go ahead.
I drank that milk too fast. You can make out that it looks like it goes like maybe like 20 feet through like broken up dirt and rock and stuff, and then you see on the other side of it what it looks like a hole in another wall. And in that space, it looks like there's some light in the distance, like maybe some candles or something. So you can actually make out that seems to be some kind of like a bricked in, or stoned in proper chamber, like a basement, basically. Yeah, you don't immediately see the girls, but yeah.
All right. I mean, Rocklin will go ahead and lead the way. She has her shield up, and I'm not going to light up a lamp yet, since there does seem to be a little bit of light in the distance, and I don't we don't want anyone to know we're here if we can help it. But I'll have my hand on the hilt of my sword, ready to draw it.
Okay.
Of my celestial sword. My celestial avenger.
Yeah, you all have badass magic swords. They do say the magic sword is the most common magic item in OD&D, and sure enough, every one of you rolled a magic sword. Well, I rolled a magic sword for every one of you. All right, so you move through that tunnel part. It's pretty rough. The dwarf, you probably could have done a better job with this. And then you kind of pop out into this large stone chamber. You see what appear to be lots of slabs, like burial slabs, like you would think that they'd be bodies on top of them, but they're not. There's no bodies on them. You can see that the room itself, though, you can kind of look around, you can see these slabs everywhere. They're kind of like, if you imagine you come into the center of it, this thing extends like 150 feet in every direction, except for obviously you just came through the wall. And you see all these slabs where you would think that bodies would be on, but you don't see any bodies on there. And then further ahead of you, you can see that there's a set of stairs going up. And up at the top of the stairs, there's light coming down, like dim light. So you're getting, because the dwarf is able to see pretty good in the dark, you're getting a picture of this whole space. For like a human, they'd be like almost blind in here, but you can kind of make out that the room feels relatively empty, but it's still pretty dark for you. And that's all you see. And then stairs going up, basically, if you want to cross 150 feet.
Yeah. Rocketlin will lead the way. She'll kind of motion to the other two.
Awesome. Okay, cool. Yeah, so you guys start crossing the path. And let me just roll to see. I mean, you're ready, so I'm only going to give a very small chance that they surprise you, because they are hidden, but they're not that well hidden. No, they're not. All right, you're ready for it. So you're on the edge, So as soon as you hear like a crack sound, you look, and behind some of these slabs they were clearly hiding. You see these things jump up, and it's dark and you can't quite make it up, but you can see that their eyes are black, and it almost looks like rotted back to here, and their teeth are just like their skin on their mouth have been pulled back, and they're just like, you can see the kind of rotted teeth. You see that there are a lot. They're basically all around you of these girls, unfortunately, and they are going to come and try to eat you. So we're going to go into combat, and what we're going to do is, first things first, we're going to roll initiative. So side initiative. So somebody can roll for your side at D6.
I'll go if you guys don't mind. I'm leading the way. There we go. 3.
3. Okay, they got 2. So you're going to go first. Okay, so you can see these things kind of coming up. They're gonna make a charge at you. There's a lot of them. So these are ghouls. So we're actually going to use fantasy combat because it works out better for you that way. Which means that if you look at your chart thing that I sent you guys, you're going to go to what is basically page 6, I guess. Should say fantasy combat table. And this is going to be like our matrix for attacking. So the way this works is everybody just gets one attack in a sense, but you can narrate it however you want. If you hit them, you'll do 1 hit die of damage unless you have some kind of special weapon, which you don't for against ghouls. And when they reach 0 hit die, they die. You will each take, if you get hit, you'll take a hit die of damage as well. If you get to 0, then you will be defeated. And that's basically how it works. Simple as that. You guys are going to get to go first. So if anybody wants to do a missile attack, that would actually occur before fantasy combat, though, if somebody wants to choose to do that. Otherwise, we'll go into this. Does anybody want to do a missile attack? No. Okay. So let's just do it. I'm just going to go in order I have here because it's just easier for me. There's lots of different ways you can do it. There's no official rule on it. You could go by dex, whatever. So you guys are going to go first. So if you look at this chart, Crystal, you're a hero +1, right?
Yes.
So if you scroll across to white/ghoul, you need a 6, right? But you're +1, so you can add 1 to your. So it's 2d6 +1, and if you're using that magic sword, you'll get another +1. So you'll get +2, basically. Roll 2d6
so
and add 2.
2d6 and then add 2. And do I add 2 to one die, or just do I add 2?
No, you add the dice together. It's a total roll.
Okay, I had all the.
So it's,
roll 2 and then add 2. Got it. Okay. All right. I rolled a 5 and a 4, and then add
So
2
9.
to that would be 11.
right. So you're adding them together. So you rolled a 9 plus 2 is 11. So that's a successful hit. So what you want to do is you can describe how you attack this thing and hit it. It does not kill it, unfortunately. But you do, in fact. Yeah.
Are any of these? Do any of these look like dwarves?
No, every one of them is a human girl, probably somewhere in the age between 15 and 19.
All right. So Rocklin pulls her sword from her sheath and quickly looks to see if any of these are dwarven shape, wanting to put that one down first, to be most merciful to, someone of her kind. But, she's sort of relieved as she sees that none of them are dwarves. And about that time, one of them jumps and she pulls her shield up as it claws into her shield, and she just stabs it through the face.
Nice. All right, yeah, it stumbles back. Unfortunately, it is still moving. Let's go to Caitlin. So you're exactly like Crystal's character. I think you're also, unless you're going to use a different weapon, you'll basically roll 2d6, add them together, and you'll get +2.
Yeah, she sees that, these creatures not human anymore, but something's transformed, and knowing that they're past that. On a saving, she'll attack one with her sword.
Okay.
Oh, man. We need a 6. Hey, that gives me a 6. I rolled a 3 and a 1, so 4 plus 2 is 6.
Okay, so if you get exactly the number, what you do is a knockback, which means they basically lose their next turn. So you stun them, but you don't do any damage. So this guy will not get a turn.
All right.
That's okay though. That's still good. It means one less thing to attack you guys. And finally, Graham.
Okay.
These things are on you.
Right. Making sure I understand it. I'm a hero attacking a group.
Yep.
Number of 6. Because I'm a hero +1, that brings me to 5, and because I have a magic sword, that brings me to a 4.
Basically, yeah, you can look at it that way. But you might be better off keeping the target number as a 6 and just adding 2 to your roll, only because you want to, if you hit that 6, to stun. Otherwise, if you hit above a 6, it's damage. That's basically how that works.
So
And below you miss.
2d6.
Yep.
So that's 5 and 3. That's 8 plus 2 is 10.
That hits. All right, so you cut into one of them. You describe your attack.
Okay, and so when you hit them, they're just dead.
No, in this case, they've got 2 hit die, so they're not dead.
Oh, okay. All right.
You wounded seriously.
Yeah, so she comes in, and as I'm walking through, and as these things jump out, I just immediately pull Lawthorn, and just in one swift motion, just cut right up across her chest, and bite deeply with my sword, and then turn to face him.
Nice. Okay, so ultimately, the way I want this, I envision this working is that everybody will just roll their dice and then just narrate everything. But obviously, we're learning, so that's perfect, right? So this is all happening. These guys are 2 of them are jumping on each of you, of course. So the first 2 that are jumping at, I'm going to look to see what they need. They are white/ghoul, and they are attacking a hero, so they need a 9. They get no bonuses. All right, so 2 of them leap out at a rock. And as described, you smash one back with the shield and stab. I guess you stabbed the other one maybe, and they both stagger back. None of them hitting you. 2 jump out at Caitlin. Ooh, oh boy. Okay, one actually. So you smack the one. It staggers back, but as you do that, another one comes up behind you and bites your shoulder because that's a 10, which is a hit. So you're going to reduce your hit die, Tony, by 1.
All right.
Yeah. Okay, so now you have 5. And then against against Graham. Okay, perfect. So the 2 that come after Graham, like you're just mightily swinging your sword back. You smash one of them, and they both fall back. So you basically now you're still surrounded by these things, but you mostly fended them off. Only one has hit Caitlin so far. As we go into the next round, go ahead and roll initiative, Crystal.
Okay.
They got a 5.
We got a 5.
Okay, so it's simultaneous. But you guys will still go first. It's just if you kill something, then you can still get an attack. So you've got 2 on you.
And the target number is a 6, right?
The target number for you guys is a 6. That is correct.
Okay. So Rocklin, as she, stabs into the first one, and she has pulled her blade back. She'll quickly say, rest well, young one. And she swings her blade overhead and cuts the head of that wounded one. Just the head falls to the ground, dead.
Awesome. Okay. Caitlin, you've got 2 on you. One just bit your shoulder.
Yeah, the one that bit into her, she'll just swing back around with her sword, and it still be same old. It don't affect my roll, does it? Still 2d6 plus 2.
That's correct. It's always the same.
That'll be a 10 total then.
Nice. All right. So you smack the one that bit you, I guess. Assuming that's the one you want to attack.
Yep. Yeah, that's the one she goes after, the one that bit her.
Nice. Okay. That's this one. Okay, perfect. And coming around to Graham.
So I'll attack the same one that I already cut.
Yep.
And that's a 6 and a 2 for 8, 9, 10. Same result.
All right.
So this time,
Okay.
cut her across the chest and then just reverse and come back across this way and just take her head right off.
Nice. All right, yeah, you take that one down. Okay, and then of course 2 died here, but they still get their attack. It was simultaneous, so they're still going to get their attacks for this round.
Okay.
So again, I'm looking at my number again. For you, they need a 9. This is against Crystal's character. Okay, they both, one charges forward to you and you chop it in half, and the other one staggers over the body and misses you completely. Against Caitlin, that one that bit you, you swing back and slash into it and it staggers back, and the second one is kind of just like blocked by the melee and they both miss. And finally against Graham, once again you kind of move in and they kind of move in and you chop down that one and and basically they are unable to affect you. So that's the end of that combat. So currently there are 2 that are in front of Caitlin, one of which was stunned but is no longer, so it'll have an action this time. And then there's one uninjured one in front of Graham and one in front of Rock. You hear a man's voice very calmly from the shadows say, "Ah, you were planning to have fun without me? Let's roll initiative, Crystal."
I rolled a 6 for initiative.
Oh, nice. You get initiative. Yeah, you don't see him. He's in the shadows. If you wanted to look for him, you could, but that's basically going to be all you can do. You can't attack this guy with it yet.
I'm not
Or you
going to
can have a little
focus
bit on you, obviously.
Yeah, I'm not going to focus on him yet. The one that kind of stumbled over and like hit the ground, I just kick it directly in the face.
Nice. Okay. Was that a hit?
Yes, that was a hit.
Nice. All right. Yeah. So you smash it. It staggers back. It's still alive, of course. Oh, no, that's the wrong one. You're not Caitlin. You're Rock. Caitlin. You got 2 on you still. 1's injured.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was about to nod off.
Oh no!
I'm just. Oh yeah, I shouldn't be, but I'm extremely tired. Yeah, she's
That
under
happens
the.
sometimes.
She hears the voice, and the one that bit into her. She looks at it for just a moment, but she hears the human voice speak out and doesn't see where it's at. She's going to reach up to her hand and turn a ring on her finger, and she's using her ring of invisibility to go invisible.
Okay, nice. Good move.
And that's all she's going to do. She's just going to stand there and wait and see if the human comes out anywhere next time.
Nice. All right, Graham.
So, having not paying attention, didn't see Ruby. I keep calling her Ruby. Caitlin disappear. He's going to turn to the other one, who I don't think is actually injured at this point.
That's correct.
All right. All right. Well, I tell you what, I kind of like this combat system. So that's 10, 11, 12 with my. I
That
rolled
hits.
plus 2 for 12.
All right. So you chop into the creature.
Just
What's actually very cool about this, and we're being very basic because we're learning it, but the idea here with this is you can basically narrate anything you want as long as the result is just that you hit them. So anything you want to do, feel free. You don't have to don't have to restrain yourself. We're in fantasy combat. So any kind of crazy ass shit you guys want to do, this is the time to do it. However, it is their turn. So the ones that were on you, sorry, Caitlin, of course, they're completely baffled by the fact that you went invisible and that they don't know what the hell to do. The one on Gray, there's only one on you now. That's going to attack you. All right, it dives at you, and lands onto your blade, clearly, because you hit it. So, and then back around to Rock. Oh, that one hits you, though. So you slice it, same deal. You jab your blade into this thing, but it runs into the blade and bites you in the neck. And your hit die will be dropped by 1. Okay. Speaking of biting on the neck, the man steps out. I guess he can't do. There's only 2 of you now. You guys, Rush and Crystal, each roll a d6 to see who targets.
1.
2.
He targets both of us. I got a 1.
Both got
Yeah.
2s? Okay.
No, I got a 1.
Yeah, he looks. He steps out of the shadows. He looks at you and he says, "You are mine, and you must make a saving throw." Although dwarves have good saving throws, so that's 2d6. This is going to be against spells, I guess, because it's charm. But it's he has a +2 basically. So take your number, add 2 to it, and then roll your saves. If that makes sense.
Okay.
So I think it should be 7. All right. So your save is normally 5, so it'd be 7, but it's against a spell.
Okay.
So you get plus 0 there, so 7. You got to roll 2d6, beat a 7. Or 7.
Okay. Well, I rolled a 10. So
Yeah.
I say,
Effective.
you don't know me very well, do you?
Clearly not. Nice. All right, so let's go into combat the next round. And now this guy is clearly visible. Go ahead, roll initiative, Crystal.
Another 6.
Oh, you got 3. All right, you're gonna go first.
Yeah, I'm more worried about putting these little ones to rest for now. So with that, as I say, you don't know me very well, do you? I'm looking at him, and as I'm looking at him, I just like thrust my sword into the ground and like stab the girl through the heart, ending her, and then pull my sword back out.
Nice. All right, yeah, that one drops. Cool. Caitlin.
Do we
Invisible, you
see?
see-
Can we see that he is the Baron? I mean, by the man we saw earlier.
He's definitely the Baron. Yep.
Can I run up and try to tackle him and grapple him? How do you do that?
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, it's fantasy combat. You can do anything you want. I mean, you're only going to be able to. What do you want to do? Like hold him down?
Yeah, just like reach and bear hug him and take him down where he can't do anything. Because I'm thinking maybe he has some type of spells and stuff he's going to try to
Sure.
use.
Yeah, you could do that. Just make a normal fantasy attack, and if you're successful, then you will have done it. But then if he needs to get away, you'll do like a contest of strength, I guess.
So it'll be
No,
a
he's
2d6?
actually yeah, 2d6 again. He actually is the same thing because he's also a corporal undead, so you need the same number to hit him. But you won't get the bonus for your magic sword, of course, because you're not using it.
Yeah, so just 2d6 plus 1.
That's right.
Oh man, that's that's 12, man. A 6, a 5, and plus 1.
Oh, nice. Okay, yeah. You grab him, and he still will drop down to 1. Yeah. Everything will always anytime you're ever successful, they drop 1 hit die no matter what you do to him. And for now, he's held, and you got him like this in a bear hug until.
But I'm back visible, of course.
Yeah, right. So,
so Graham, you see me all of a sudden appear back, bear hugging this guy.
Nice, like a badass. Graham, you got one still in front of you that's injured, and you guys can hear rustling, like there's more of these things coming out of the woodwork.
Hitting them all. All right. Oh no, I think I still got 6 on the dice, plus 2 for 8 total over 6. Yeah, so I still hit it.
Nice.
So the question is, did Caitlin become visible again?
Yes, she did.
Oh shit. Okay, I was gonna do something funny. So after I jam this thing deep into her chest, I pull it out. Do the same thing again. I just come around and just take the thing's head off, and immediately turn to this other this man or whatever. Do I recognize him as the Baron?
Yeah, I'll say you recognize. I mean, it's all happening at once. So yeah, you recognize him as a Baron, and then just as you do, you see your friend crash into him.
I mean, like, so it just kind of turned, and it was just be like, I knew I didn't trust you, you long-shanked son of a holy crap, Caitlin. By the time that's over,
Nice. All right. Okay, so there's 2 on. The 2 that were on Caitlin rush towards Graham. They are unsuccessful. They rush at you, but you were able to fend them back. There are 2 that stepped out of the shadows on Rock. Well, these guys suck. Oh no. Critical. The 2 6s, by the way, is a crit.
2 what? 2 6s?
2 6s is a crit. Yeah. It just means it does 2 hit dice of damage instead of 1. So one of them you knock to the side with your shield, Rock, but the other one bites deep into you, and you're going to drop 2 hit dice from that.
Ooh.
Yeah. This guy is being held, which is very clever, except he goes like this, and fangs come out, and he tries to bite you in the neck.
All right.
And he got a 10, so he hits you. Ooh, this is not good. He is a vampire, as you may have guessed, and thus is a level drainer. So you actually will lose 3 hit dice from that attack.
Oh man, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so he bites into you deeply. He doesn't try to get away. He's like, fine, I'm good. And that's the end of that round. So you guys are surrounded in the crypts by. Actually, let me move these guys around. So currently there are one vampire being held by Caitlin. There is 2 ghouls on each of Rock and Graham. And you don't hear any other movement in here currently as we come to the next round of combat. Crystal, roll initiative.
Oh, 1.
Okay. Okay, so the 2 on Graham, they come lunging at you. Ooh, 10. So they come running at one of them, just like bites into you, and the other one kind of like you knock it aside. It's hard to do when you're surrounded by these things. So you will lose 1 hit die. And Rock. Oh no, another crit. Holy crap.
Oh, wow.
Wow, that's more crits than I normally get with. So you drop 2 hit dice from that.
Ow.
Oh, it's pretty bad. And then a 9, which is a knockback. So you actually lose your turn this round as well.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's a bad round for you. Bad 2 rounds. And then finally the vampire on poor Caitlin. 11. You're going to lose 3 hit dice. That might actually kill you.
That'd put me at -1 then.
Yeah, you slump down. And your body goes... And you're going to come back next round as a ghoul. Start putting on one of those white dresses. Perhaps charging him wasn't the best bet. All right, but you hear a gasp as he bites into her and she slumps. And obviously you stop holding him because you are dead. And now it's your turn. Graham, you got 2 ghouls on you. And a vampire just took out your friend.
So yeah, 2 ghouls. I'm just gonna when I see the friend go down and Rack get nailed pretty hard, I'm basically just gonna turn and just rush the vampire guy with everything I got.
Nice. So he requires the same thing because he fights as the same thing. So you need the same thing as the vampire.
Sorry. So what do I need? Oh.
Same number because that number there for white and ghoul is the same as you need to hit a vampire.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yep.
So he bellows as he runs across and rolls a 9 + 2 for 11.
Yep.
He's just like, ah! Comes across with Lawthorn and just boom. Same thing. Just tries to just give him a huge chest slice.
Nice. Yeah, he's like on the ground. Like he like rolls her off and he's like still down and you swoosh across his chest and fresh blood is coming off his chest and also out of his mouth from obviously your friend.
Yep.
And how about Rock, you would lost your turn, right?
Yeah. I'm a little bit dazed at this moment. I have that thing where like someone says something, but I hear it as if it were an echo in my head.
Okay, so you're not gonna come back this round, Tony, but you'll come back soon. Takes a little bit to turn into a goal. All right, that's the end of that round. Crystal, initiative for the party.
5.
Also a 5, simultaneous. Okay. Go ahead. What do you want to do, Rock? You got 2 on you. There's 4 ghouls that are standing, but there's 2 that are on you.
As my head kind of like comes back and my vision, I'm seeing double and everything kind of comes back into line. I call out to our dwarven fighter god Ghidorah, and I'll say, Ghidorah, help me in this time of era. And I'll reach into my pouch and pull out my potion of growth and begin to chug it.
Yes. Like a fucking baller.
Do it.
All right, I believe in this edition that makes you grow to 30 feet tall.
Holy fuck.
Nice.
What?
Yeah, you'll go through the ceiling of the place.
Yeah.
You're gonna be
Holy crap. All right, I gotta look that up while we
Dwarf's gotta do what a dwarf's gotta do.
Who was
Exactly. Go ahead, Rush.
When it's all over, she's gonna go wash herself in the river.
It's a time loop, right?
You do it right, and the townspeople will just be like, la, 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 la. They're like, oh, look at that.
I mean, all right, yeah. All right, good. So I mean, it doesn't say just anything except for make you 30 feet tall, but that's going to at least double your damage. So, yeah. Actually, it might be worthwhile for you to. No, it won't be. Go ahead, Rush. This vampire is still there.
I'm gonna just still bellowing. I'm just gonna. I'm just like going into like berserk mode on this vampire guy. Okay. So is that a 6? The one with the picture is a 6. Okay. 7, 8, 9.
But 9 is exactly no, that hits, right? For you, yeah.
Yeah, I rolled a 6 and 1 plus 2.
Yep. Nice. Yep. You cut into him. Well, this is gonna be hard. He you actually see that as you slice across his chest, the original wound that you put in him is already starting to sew up.
Uh-oh. I just gotta keep hitting him.
Exactly.
I cut you.
It's gonna take more than one of you to hit him. Okay, and you're drank your potion, so it's their turn. All right. Well, being that you're a giant now, these ghouls are all going to target you. First one misses. They like might hit your kneecaps. Wow, they none of them hit you. All these ghouls run up and start clawing at you, but you're like growing. It's like, and they stagger back. But the vampire looks at.
I like to imagine it's that thing like where all 4 of them like jump on top of me and like dogpile me, and then all of a sudden I just throw all of them back.
Yeah, that's even better. I like that. That's exactly what happened. All right, vampire. He looks at his new victim. And he says, I normally take young ladies as my thralls, but I can mix it up sometimes. Oh, and you rolled a 10. So he bites deeply into you, and you're going to lose 3 hit dice.
Ow! I am a handsome fellow.
Yeah, he's tough.
He's just jealous of you.
Yeah. Yes. All right. So my hit dice are listed as a number and then +2. So
yeah, +2 doesn't mean anything for this. That's only for other things. Yeah. So you got 6. If they drop to 0, you're out.
Okay. Now they're at 3.
Okay. I don't want. Okay. I'll just state right now. This is a vampire.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I'm gonna say.
It's the vampire. Yeah.
Okay. This is a vampire.
Kind of in a position where I can't really run now.
I'm not telling you to run. Go ahead. That's the end of that round, right? Go ahead and roll initiative. 4.
Oh, right, initiative. Sorry. 3. Dang.
All right. So Tony's character is going to come up this round, but let me do the bad guys first. All right. So the 4 ghouls against our giant that misses. Oh, you know what? I'm going to make you a giant. That's what I'll do. So giant. So they are white versus giant. That means they need an 11. Oh yeah, they're not going to do anything. It's really good.
Watch them.
Good idea for you. Yeah, that's basically what they need is the crit to hit you at all. Okay, no, all 4 of them just can't. You're a giant, so you're just like. Whoosh. Actually, you're going to fight as a giant as well. That's how I'll do it. Instead of doing extra damage, you're just going to fight as a giant.
Nice.
Yeah. That means you only need a 4.
Okay, so I still roll 2d6 and get a +2.
Yeah, let the vampire go first, though.
Okay.
Let the vampire finish off your friend.
Sorry.
He looks at you with blood dripping down his face, and he says, "I guess aged meat does taste good." Oh, and then rolls a 4. So he says that, and then doesn't hit you. Maybe I'll let it age some more.
Yes.
All right, and then we go back to now it's your turn, Giant Crystal.
Okay. Yeah. So,
Right, so you're a giant attacking that. Yes, you need a 4, and you're just a giant, so 4 instead of a. whatever you did before.
Let me see. Oh,
Seven,
yeah.
176.
Okay. I mean, can I? Yeah. Okay.
No, you won't get any bonuses. Actually, it works out to be exactly the same.
No, I was
Because you
wondering
had
if I could
the
possibly get to the vampire, but
Yeah, of course. It's fantasy combat. You can do anything you want. You can do
No,
anything you want.
I'm gonna hope that Graham can take care of the vampire, and I guess I'm going to continue attack these ghouls, put them out of their misery.
Okay.
All right.
It might be worthwhile for you to switch to troop combat. Let me just quickly check something. Only because you might be able to kill more of them. Because you can switch as needed. Because if you're a giant, you're attacking as 12 armored foot, and they are light horse. No, they're heavy horse. So you'd get 1 die per 3 men. So you'd roll 4 dice. No, you're still better off doing it the way you're doing. Yeah, I'm just seeing if it was better for you to go the other way because you can use whatever system works best for you.
Okay then. All right. Well, I just pick one up and then just like slam it on the floor like Hulk slamming Loki for a hit.
Nice. Yeah, that's dead. We'll say you get the one that was injured just to make it a little more even the odds a bit for you guys. All right, yeah. So you smash the one girl into the ground, and she's just a blob on the ground. All right, Graham, you've got this vampire in front of you who seems to be healing.
The vampire.
Sorry, I was muted. So what I'm doing while I'm holding my sword, I'm going to reach down real quick and I'm going to pull a bottle out from my belt and bite the cork off of it and just go like that. And I'm going to swallow my potion of gaseous form.
Nice.
I have an idea.
Okay. All right. So yeah, you do that because it's your turn. You can do what you want. All of your gear, of course, just drops to the ground, and you are now.
Does it? It doesn't change with me?
No, of course not. Come on now.
Well, I didn't know. I didn't know that.
Well, I didn't know now.
That's okay. Great. So I'll be naked when I come back out of gaseous form?
That is correct. Yeah.
All right. Well,
But I think you're pretty much impervious when you're in that form, though. Let me just check to see exactly.
My plan is for when I come out of gaseous form, but we really better hope that it works now.
Right. So the user retains cohesion over his new gaseous body, and he may penetrate any place which isn't airtight. Of course, his arms, armor, and so on will remain behind. Yeah, so all your shit drops right now.
That's fine.
Yeah, this isn't some edition that came out in 2015. This came out in 1974, man.
Well, you never know. You used a magic ring and the whole body that turned.
They didn't think about clothes back then.
Exactly. You know we wear clothes in 1974?
Yeah. I mean, I assume I'm completely naked. I'm assuming when I grew, my armor went everywhere.
Oh, yeah, your stuff went everywhere. Yeah, you're not using your weapon anywhere. You grew. Tony, Caitlin opens her eyes with a ravenous hunger for living flesh.
Yeah, so I guess all she sees is the giant, huh?
That's right. Because you're now a ghoul fighting a giant. So if we look at that chart, right?
I need a 11, I think.
You need an 11, yeah. Yep.
No bonuses or just the +1 bonus or none?
Nothing at all because you wouldn't use a weapon. I don't think it's cool.
Oh, I had a 10, so I missed.
Okay, yeah. So you charge at the giant, but the giant's pretty tough at this point, even if it is like crunched over. This is actually pretty interesting because turning into a giant was actually pretty smart. And gaseous form, you guys are got yourself in a good position here. In fact, Tony, you can just play all the ghouls that way. I don't have to do them anymore when it comes around next round. All right, so that was the end of that round, right? Everybody went because the vampire. Well, vampire's gonna try to attack the giant. Actually, what the vampire is gonna do is, he'll try to attack the giant. Why not? He unfortunately needs the exact same thing, so he's not gonna have a very good chance of hitting the giant either. Nope. He rushes at you and tries to cut into you, but it's ineffective. And that's the end of that round. So
initiative?
Yeah, let's roll initiative, yeah.
5.
3. All right, what you want to do there, giant?
Rocklin, seeing her friend Caitlin, has turned into this ghoul. Big, giant tears forming her giant eyes. And she looks to the vampire and says, "You will pay for this." And she's going to pick up her 10-foot pole from the ground that fell off when her armor came off. And she's going to jam that thing down the vampire's throat and try and like hit his heart.
Nice. Okay. Make an attack, a fantasy attack.
Total of 8.
That's enough, right? You'll need a 4.
Yep.
Yeah. You run the vampire through. And I think that he turns to gaseous form is how that works.
I hate you, Chris.
We're about to have 2 gaseous forms like two big clouds like suddenly meet in the air and they're just like clouding.
Oh no, actually, no. Sorry. No. If you put the stake to its heart, it goes down. Yeah. You run the stake to the vampire's heart and it's like plugged. So basically it's like down its throat, through its heart, into the ground, and it's just.
That was the whole reason I went into gaseous form, is I was going to come back out, grab my 10-foot pole, and like stomp on one end and break it off, and then I was just going to run right into him and just go, oh, like that. And Chris, do it.
Well, you could have just done that in front of him. I mean, as the ghouls can't. I mean, the chance of the ghouls hitting the giant is so small. We'll just say, Crystal, you can narrate out how you finish off the remaining 2 ghouls, and also, I guess, put Caitlin to rest. And it got, because you're going to be out for a while there. The potions last, I believe, over an hour. So
yeah, I kind of let like Caitlin kind of have at me a bit as I pick up the other 2 girls, and like I will say a quick prayer over one as I break her neck and then throw her body behind me, and then the other one I'll do the same, and then I'll kind of like kneel down to Caitlin and pick her up so she can't hit me anymore, and I'll like do a chant, a Dwarven chant of like, for like, of like heroism and valor. And just before the potion ends, I'll finally take her neck and say to her, rest well, and break her neck as well. And as I shrink back down, I'll have her body in my arms.
okay. Yeah, you actually stay giant for a while. Rush's character, Graham, you come back after an hour and 10 minutes. But Rakash, you stay for almost 2 full hours. So
in that case, I'll just I'll sing my song and then.
So you can't
lay her to rest.
Out of gaseous form.
What? No, it's a potion.
Wow,
potions take effect. That's it.
Plan was screwed from the get-go, then, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, you could have just broke the pole and stabbed him as a normal person. It was a good idea, though.
Yeah, but he would have kept killing me, and all he had to do was hit me one more time, and I was dead.
Yeah, no, you were basically dead if he hit you again. It was smart to do that. I thought you were going to be like, peace. He was regenerating, too. Wow. Yeah, that was really tight. Like, that was not an easy fight. It would have taken all 3 of you to beat the vampire, really, because he regenerates back a die around. So you guys stay ahead of it.
So does his teeth stay like out and sharp?
What's that?
After he's been stabbed through, does he still maintain his teeth? Okay. So Graham would look at Rack and say, first off, Caitlin deserves proper burial. Secondly, we're taking this bastard back to town with us. We're going to show the townspeople what he's truly is, and tell them the fate that their daughters that they sent away with him were going through, and then we will let them deal with coming here for the proof and going to the manor and doing what needs to be done.
All that sounds great, but while I'm a giant and can't move around, perhaps you should find the dwarven girl. She wasn't here.
She's probably in the manor.
Perhaps.
And
I'm a giant and I cannot move through the manor.
Yeah, well,
You're sitting there naked as a giant.
Yeah.
Like your friend like nestled on your knee, sad.
Yeah.
I fear that I'm wounded.
Actually, you're not. In fantasy combat, once it ends, you are basically back to normal.
Oh,
Yeah. I like that, don't you?
all right. Yeah, I guess I'll get dressed. How long is she going to be?
I mean, you don't know. I rolled it, but so I'm just going to tell you. But you wouldn't know exactly how long, but almost about 30 minutes longer. So by the time you get dressed, you could go up into the manor, or you could wait. I mean, it's up to you how you want to do.
Yeah.
In either case, when you guys go up there, you do in fact find the small dwarven girl. You find the 4 girls from the village, of course, and you also find 5 other girls who say they're from various other villages. That they were. They explained to you that they had met a stranger, and that's the last thing they remember. And then they just came here. They don't remember exactly what happened. Also, which apparently will be another time for an adventure for another time. You find some notes.
I hear the
Yeah, someone sounds like an alarm going
I hear
off.
the alarm at the manor going off.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the fire station down the street. Um, you find some notes that apparently after you guys have been asking around the first night, the Baron started doing some research using his telescope, and he had it pointed in the sky, and you can see through this telescope stars falling. Some 3 or 4 days travel to the east. But that, as they say, is a story for another time. So let's do a wrap up with how how you guys want to walk out of this thing at the end. Tell us how this thing all wraps up together in a neat little bow. And I guess we'll start with Crystal, unless you want to go last too.
Rockland will take Caitlin's body back to her family, and they'll have her buried and everything. She will, boast of how smart Caitlin was and how helpful she was throughout all of their adventures, and Caitlin's magical sword she will give to the Ruby Glint clan as an honor to Caitlin, so that they can do what they need to do with it. And that's basically how the story ends for Rockland for now.
Awesome. How about Graham? What's happened? What's Graham?
I was talking to Michelle. Did you say you were taking the body back to the clan?
Yes.
Okay. So prior to that happening, though, once the Graham does exactly what he says. He brings the dwarf child back and reunites her with her father, and he shows he demands for the town elders to come forth and shows them their Baron and what he truly is, the monster that he was. And of course, as you say, we went up and they found the other women and the story of the stranger taking people from the roads to say, clearly this your town, while quaint and friendly, is not as nearly as safe as you say. So for that, I will stay among you to help guard against these strangers and these people that would make off with your children at night. And then he would also get the dwarves from he would ask the other dwarves in town, like the lantern maker and all of them, to come out and assist in doing a dwarven funeral. So they would have like a funeral celebration for Caitlin, because I'm assuming we all know each other. And obviously not bury her because Rack wants to take her body back, but we're going to, at least do like I guess a celebration of life kind of thing. And then And then when it's all done, he would say, "But if there's one thing I know about Ruby Glint, is that she would not want people standing around and sobbing." He said, "Your Baron, this creature of evil, has been vanquished. The source of your bloodied waters is done. But this tradition you have of these wedding engagements is a good thing, and it should continue. So tonight we will drink again, and for the engaged and for their parents, and we will make merry. I will not sit around and shed tears for my friend, because I know she would not have it."
Excellent. Yeah, and of course, you now possibly have a lead on this throne, which could grant wishes, which who knows what a wish could do. Any final thoughts of Caitlin, from Caitlin?
The last thing that Caitlin thought of before the vampire bit into her the last time is she briefly jumps back to the first night they come into the town, seeing those little dwarf children running around and being worried about their safety. But then she thinks back for just a minute before, seeing her mother's tears roll down her cheeks as she goes off to seek adventure herself. And she just looks at her mother and she goes, "I have to do this for father. You know I have to. He made this sword especially for me. If something ever happens to me, my friends will bring it back to the clan. You pass it on down, but I'll be back one day, mother."
Excellent. That seems like a good place to leave it. Thanks, guys. That was fun.
Yes.
And
Man, chainmail done got me twice.